Hey everybody, welcome back to the Quantum Show, Quantum Panel, Expedition Florida. Well, that's just the catchy headline. It's talking about all kinds of stuff tonight. Joe is having some sound issues. Welcome back to the show, Jeanette Angel and Samantha Morris, the cat. Samantha Morris, thank you for coming back to the Quantum Show. And we're going to have Shadow is doing his show. He's doing a 1 year special, and he's going to be in here later. Amy, I featured your show tonight. Amy, Alien Girl 111 is in the chat. Yo, check it out, Amy. You're helping me keep it quantum. And,
I have a little more.
yeah, yours is. Hey, you know what? This is the bodies, the documents, the craft. Tastes like disclosure.
Yes.
Gotta
I
love
think
it.
Joe tucked back out for a moment.
Yeah,
I hope he comes back.
He's having some stuff. And so everyone knows Alien Girl 111 runs a daily show Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. my time, 5 a.m. 7 a.m. her time, I believe. And
I can't see
I try to get there as many days as I can. And yeah, I have the mug. Heck yeah, I got the mug. You're helping me keep it quantum. And she runs that show. She talks about ufology news, uh, all the cool stuff like the rocket launches and the James Webb satellites, current research, the congressional hearings that are going on. Link will be in the description after the show. And yeah, I am going to, Amy, I'm going to hoodwink Bigelow in Florida. Watch me. I'm taking this mug and I'm like, you, me, and Amy are going to have a little talk.
You're going to come off as a complete flako if you do that.
He's in Florida.
You are not a
He
flako.
should be expecting it. But he's not going to expect the Tennessee accostment. Is that a word? I don't know.
Wave at Tennessee, don't tread on me, and all that. Huh?
Yeah, he's not going to be expecting me and Rich Giordano, if I can rope him in to go in and meet him. Well, I'm going to go like hoodwink him into a coffee shop.
So we're talking about kidnap, extortion,
and conspiracy.
And you're leaving us out of it? What is this?
You know only what you need to know. Yep, boots on the ground. I'm going to try to get Rich to come out to Fort Myers with me because I'm going in a little under 2 weeks, and I'm going to be scoping out a convention. The first time I went to a convention, got aliens. The second time, I want more, and I want it to happen. And yeah, Quantum Show is boots on the ground. All the stuff I do is personal accounts, and I talk about stuff that other people talk about, but since I'm not there, can't verify. You know, Lynn, when you're not there in person.
Oh, you need to talk about Frank about not being there, but being full view, but nobody can see you. I've seen him do that enough times.
Yeah, I'm sure he's looked in on me a couple times just because he can. Not because I'm doing anything wrong, but just because, hey, buddy, what's up? I don't even know.
So sorry.
It's been years. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. And yeah, first hour, I think you were there for most of it. I was talking about
I was there for a good bit of it.
Okay.
Maybe not all, but a good bit.
Okay, Amy talked to Ron James tonight on her channel and talked about Roger Lear and that's what the medical side, the medical experimentation and observation, because that seems to be what is happening here on UMC is one.
Right.
UMC.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and they have some kind of a deal going on where they're coming down and gathering samples and specimens and data. Oh man, and that thing with Maria, which I featured, Amy featured it too,
Yeah.
where Maria,
Well,
yeah, saw that doctor and the strange nurse with the short arms. Well,
mm-hmm.
that's not I. There's no coincidence there, none whatsoever. And Amy, also thank you for featuring me on your show. Feel free to go do that. You have complete. I've emailed you. You have a full permission to use my show's content.
You be sure to put a link in there for Amy and
I will. Oh
so on and
definitely.
so forth.
As far as much as I can, I put a link in there every show for Amy's show,
Yeah.
and I try to. But welcome back to the show. Bob Birkins rolled up, and we got Samantha's here. Amy's still here. Yeah. Amy's saying, "Oh, Hellfire Studios, what's up, man? Glad to see you in the chat." And okay, well, I talked about the medical stuff, specifically UMC and Las Palmas. Las Palmas is another one. And the weird doctor sightings from different people. I'm still on the lookout. Hey, Lynn, the next time you go
Huh.
to your doctor, watch out for those people. Nobody can
I'm
hide.
going to have to do that here in Cruces, but you know, that's the stomping ground,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Cruises
know,
is just
and
as
it's just as simple for that to be here as it would be there, maybe
mhm,
more so. It
right.
This area has become absolutely flooded with out of towners, and not just the immigrants who are found their way across the border, but also others.
Hmm.
And you know, I watch anymore. After being involved in it a little bit, you know, having been picked up, it was more of a catch and release sport with them that day. But we uh, we see them. We see them often, and it's as though they're trying to say, "You don't see me. I can hear it." And I beg to differ. I can see you just fine. So my glasses are a little overput here. I've got a Bluetooth on either side, and I can hear you almost fabulously.
Okay. Excellent. But yeah, Amy, if you want some serious woo to put on the show, talk to Lynn. She's up the road from you. Talk to Lynn.
A little
Way up
bit.
the road, far down the road,
Am I,
but still,
am I up the road or down the road? Because
I
remember, I'm at the southeast end.
I'm not really sure. But um yeah, y'all are in the same state. So hey, Amy, it's
We're not
quantum.
far at all from El Paso,
Right.
and
I think she is. She's far from El Paso. But not but it's New Mexico. You're not far
yeah, it's
from any place in
connected.
New Mexico.
Everything's from every place.
Yeah.
It's 100 miles to visit the next door neighbor in Alamogordo.
Yeah.
So, and that's not an exaggeration.
Oh shit.
So,
Yeah. Sorry, I'm pushing
I didn't
buttons.
realize something's going on there.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm pushing buttons. You're you've got some
snap.
background noise, snapping, popping, but that's okay. But
Sorry about
anyway,
that.
oh, what is this? What does this mean? Let's review a little bit, shall we? Um, you know what the ironic part of that is? You mentioned fair. But we all have that faith. So is it really not fair? You want to talk about fair?
I think it's ultimately fair.
Yeah, it's very
Some
fair.
of
I
us
mean,
get there quicker than others,
right.
obviously, but ultimately that end fate is the same. It, I think, what might not be too good. Just I lost my thought. Damn, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, well, my thoughts wander. It's I'm seeing what's happening in the chat quite a bit. The being distracted, but no, death is a very fair thing. However, getting to that end result is sometimes not exactly entertaining,
Mm, yeah.
and it's I think it's a lot like people have said, over books and articles. It's very much that way. You suddenly find yourself on the other side, and sometimes there's friends and relatives that are waiting on you if you're not haven't been too much of a crapper to them. Sometimes even if you have.
Hmm.
So, you know, it's sometimes if people get there a bit early, okay, we'll take maybe suicide or unexpected death real
Hmm.
fast. Sometimes they're a bit late getting to us.
Samantha's saying, we just wish we could live forever. I'm
Yes,
not
but my
so sure
darling, we
about that.
do.
That's
We
fear.
do.
Yeah, well,
We
that's,
already
we
do.
already do. We just are not there now. And,
Perhaps not in this corporal body, but
right.
you know, would you really want to live forever in this particular apparatus? I find that a frightening idea.
Joe is
Oh
back.
yeah,
Let's see.
let's hope Joe can be heard now.
Yeah,
I
go
hope
ahead and give
so.
us a. Say again?
There he
I
is.
hope so.
Okay. Did
Maybe,
you change
possibly.
microphones?
I changed whole headsets. I went through 4 of them.
Well,
Okay, I had to turn you down because you just blew us away.
just a skosh.
Just to go.
That's better.
I'm
Okay.
not going. Gotta
You
move
may
on a
need to
little.
speak up because there's a
I may
lot of
need to.
background noise.
My neighbors are having a party.
Okay. Okay, but yeah, we just I was talking about first hour. I know you heard some of it, Joe, at least some of it. The medical experimentation and how I feel that we are in a nature preserve and we are the apex predators that they're scared of getting eaten by.
Yeah. Well, I want to comment about Dr. Caesar. Uh,
I don't think
he's
they're
a
the least
he's
bit
a
frightened of us.
he's probably one of Renee's least favorite doctors up there. He uh, he's the head of the department that was taking care of Frank.
Okay. Do you know this person? Or do you
Uh, I know of him. And you've got his first name. Yeah, it's an endoscopy. Can't remember
I'm
what he
not
said.
Endocus,
sure.
doc, and now I
Endoscopy.
can't say it.
Endoscopy. Yeah, endoscopy.
Endos, endoscopy.
Endoscopy.
Right,
Right,
that's the name.
Is he at Las
right.
Yeah, he's the
Palmas?
head of
I,
that department with us.
I looked at the picture that they provided, and I'm just wondering how old that is. it didn't sound much like the description that was made of him. But
No, I looked.
it could be him. It's possible. I
Uh,
never met the man.
I haven't been able to find anything on this guy, and that was the description I got from that other person. But I haven't looked him up in 2 years, so I don't know. And
He's the head of the department.
at Las Palmas.
No.
No.
Oh,
UMC.
well, this is a doctor, a
And,
different doctor.
and Texas Tech.
Okay,
Now,
this
Texas
might be a
Tech
different
Makes him
person.
instantly
The
suspect.
Texas
to
Tech,
me.
yeah, Texas Tech is the state part of UMC, and then you have UMC, which is actually controlled by El Paso,
Hmm.
and we get to vote on what taxes they get to give us.
Voting, you say? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is until the city manager comes along and negates our votes.
Yeah. That kind of thing happens
Well,
here too.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, the other
I don't
thing
know
that
if you know.
happened is we had the hair off, me and Nathan, and I won.
Yeah. I must submit. I submit.
I showed him this mess, and it's huge. So it's
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna.
won something this week anyway.
Joe, I have a question for you. What kind of headset are you using, and what device are you typically coming to us from? Are you using a
Okay,
laptop?
typically I'm on the laptop and I'm on this headset. Obviously, this headset.
Okay.
But for some reason, a lot of buzz. You couldn't hear me. So
That happened tonight.
yeah, so I got its twin out.
All right.
I had to have
Same,
Frank put
the
these
same
on
thing.
for this.
Yeah, there's two of them,
So,
and I've been
I
using
don't
those.
know.
So
How do they
the
hook
one
up?
I've got on here is my USB connected, well not USB, Bluetooth connected one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have a USB port available?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get a headset to you because I don't know what the heck is going on there, but I can at least secure that part to make sure that part is good. Known hardware, known good hardware. Not the most awesome hardware, but known good USB. Okay?
Yeah. Well, I was trying to come through my Logitech mic too.
Right.
It didn't do any good either.
Wow. Yeah, I've got my other thing over here, but I'm not using it right now. This seems to be working. I had to.
I had to put the old computer here in line, and then all of a sudden, I seem to be able to communicate.
Yeah. What you using Windows XP?
Yeah, that's an old XP computer. Yes.
It'll never die. Keep that computer running.
No.
You know it loves you. It loves you, Joe.
It's got TV and everything else in it.
And okay, well, yeah, I'm going to get you a USB headset along on its way to you. No license required.
Well, you tell me where to get it from. I get it for myself. The first of the month is coming up right now.
Okay. And I'm going to get one along to you. If nothing else, it's another thing to try, okay? And
Well,
it's not.
let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I actually hear very well on these. Yeah, I hear very well on these. I mean, not only on like this, but around the house I can hear it, which is like, wow, that's unusual. I was listening to the water run, and I hadn't heard that for a while.
Wow.
So anyhow, Frank is talking about getting you a set of those. So maybe if we both do it, we'll come up with something that works.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, I'm looking for some. I'm feeling them out is what I'm doing because I don't use USB. I use the the tablet with a phono
Oh,
jack on
these
it.
are completely
Yeah.
wireless.
This is with phono jack.
Right.
Yeah.
So good. So
Well,
is its spin.
you sound like you're talking through muffled cotton. Is you really
Yeah.
do. So I'm gonna get some along to you.
Yeah. Well, we'll see who gets there first.
Yeah, or
One of
whichever
us
one
get
works.
something maybe he can use.
Hmm. And we'll lock
What's nice
down that part
about
of it.
these, I can even get a phone call on these.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, Raven should be joining us here in a little while. I sent her a link to come on, and she's having Mercury retrograde tech problems, like so much
Yeah.
worse than we are. Her computer, she,
Yeah.
I will let her come and talk about it, right? But her computer needs to
Right.
be formatted, reinstalled, and emergency data recovery done. And
Oh
I
yeah.
am going to help her.
I'm glad to hear
So,
that.
yeah, okay, let me see here. Yeah, Joe, you're going to get a bundle. What are you using for a camera? A USB camera?
Yes.
Okay.
But no, not right now though.
What are
Normally
you
I
on
use
right
the
now?
USB. I'm the laptop camera, but
Oh, the laptop.
yeah, I've got I got the Logic camera, and I also have one that's useless for this, which is a microscope camera.
Okay, well, we don't need to use that one here. Won't help. So I'm going to get this on the way to you. For some reason, when I order to here, it takes a day or two. When I order to Texas, it takes 2 to 4 days. Don't know why.
Hmm.
That's because we've got the distribution center here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a distribution center here too, and it defaults to mine, and it's like a logistics craziness.
Nightmare. Yeah.
Let's see. I said change. But yeah, I was talking the medical stuff. We all have experience in the medical things happening, and I have yet to witness it. But I'm starting to think they're guarding against me personally. I'm starting to think because I've
Yeah.
never witnessed it, but it seems like everyone I know is having experiences, but not me. And
You don't want one.
no, I don't, but I
You don't
want to
want anything
witness.
like this.
No, I don't want nothing like that. You can tell your
I mean,
story if you
even
want, but it's,
yeah.
oh my God, it's nightmarish. What you described to me is nightmarish.
We still, the two of us still start screaming over it. Literally. It anytime that either one of us have to go to see a doctor, and I have to see them. It's not an option for me. I have to. Uh, Something untoward has happened. We left that area because every time we were turning around, something unexplainable was happening. You know, and when a therapist that you're seeing for PTSD because of the mess that they made of your body, and I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about Frank. You know, when a therapist torments you into a screaming fit over it, even after being told over and over, back off, something's wrong with the game there. We finally said, listen, we cannot continue doing this. We're not going to do it to ourselves, and we're not going to put up with you. And we said it that way. But we left El Paso a few years ago. It hasn't been, what, 7 years ago? 6 years ago. Frank? 6 years ago? Yeah, 6 years ago. And been relatively quiet. You know, doctors don't give us trouble. People don't give us trouble. But boy, oh boy, we got involved in the UMC Healthcare Network, and I'm trying to be careful because I don't want a liable suit. I promised them very faithfully that I would tell anyone who would listen to what they did to us. And I say us because what happens to him happens to me. So you got to see a good bit of it too, huh, Joe? So, and
Yes,
I'm kind of
sure
afraid I'm going to go on a rant.
Right. Okay. Well,
did.
you
We
don't
almost
need to. Don't get riled up. Don't get riled up.
Yeah.
But we all know something is going on.
yeah, one of those doctors almost had a Shih Tzu and a Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Tear them apart.
He came in and dropped a box of some kind, of a metal box, and sweet-natured Bella and ill-natured Patches took exception to that. They went after him, and the doctor ran. So he came back, and we had them tethered up pretty good where they couldn't get away from us.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, my first thought was, what's wrong with this guy? Seriously, that's exactly what I thought, because dogs don't react that way. But of course, they had hurt a pack member too. So, you know, long story short, they damn
Yes,
near
Frank
killed
is
Frank.
considered a pack member with the dog.
Oh yes. That hospital, I wouldn't go back there for a hangnail, and I'm not kidding. They have systematically destroyed two of my family members.
Hmm.
You know, and I am talking about UMC. Two of them. Caught them in both cases. Told them, you can transfer my uncle now. I said, I'm going to have your lights and liver.
Yep.
1, 2,
Yep.
3.
You know what? If you're
What
ever
does that mean?
wanting to do a dedicated show, we will do one, Lynn. It would be me and you, one on one, and we can
Yeah,
discuss this.
I would. I don't know how much Frank can talk about it even yet. I can barely talk about it.
Okay.
And I'm
Well,
not civil about it when I do.
no, then it will be an exclusive if we do it, if we want to do it, and
Well, I'll
it'd be
put
one of
Mary
those
Trump
things.
to shame.
Yeah, but it would be planned, and we would keep our peace about us. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, the worst of that is all of those records disappeared. All of them. There
Go
was
figure.
no records to get. Nothing.
Even my billing records.
Not even the billing. They made the whole thing disappear, and that's not an exaggeration. What we ended up with, which the discharge letter, the discharge notes that you get, we got somebody else's.
Oh,
I
wow.
still have them. I'm not letting go of those.
That
Why
does
do I
not
have?
happen. That was done
Uh-huh, it
on
sure
purpose.
doesn't. Yeah. Anyway, it went away. And, I didn't end up with $1 million worth of medical bill, but they didn't get his body either.
Hmm. Oh, y'all,
And that's
everyone
long
listening,
short of
if
it.
you can read between the lines on this one, what she just said, oh man, y'all do have not a clue of this nightmare that she said, you will not pass. That's what she basically did. And they
I
didn't.
had to. I had to.
Yeah, it
Um,
was.
the medication that they told me he was on, you know, I used to do a little bit of nursing here and there.
Hmm.
We won't say how, I just did it. And I booby trapped his room. Now, I wish I could have put a camera in there. I don't have that kind of ability. But I did mark all of the medication that he was supposed to be receiving, all of the liquid vitamins that he was supposed to be receiving. I
Hmm.
marked them and I dated them. There was at one point there where he got no medication for 3 days, no
Mm.
medication and no food, no vitamins, no saline, no sugar,
Hmm.
nothing. And I went to the desk and I said, "When is that going to get taken care of?" I wasn't mean about it,
Hmm.
but like a lot of people, if you're in a wheelchair, they tend to dismiss you, which is a real bad mistake in my case.
Hmm.
And anyhow, she said, "Well, we took care of that this morning." I said, "No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't. Do I look stupid to you?" "Well, no, ma'am." "Well, then why are you treating me like I am?"
Hmm.
And I said, "How about this?" I said, "You get a housekeeper in here and you clean that room. You clean it from top to bottom." I said, "And then you change those sheets. They haven't been changed in a week. I know that too. That I have pictures of." You know, and I said, "While you're at it," I said, "you don't give me any trash about anything I bring in here for him, because from now on, I'm in charge." "Yes,
Hmm.
ma'am." You know, and I was talking to the floor nurse, the head nurse of the floor. You can always tell the head nurse. You know how you tell them? They have the dirty knees.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's what
Mm.
I think about that whole damn crew.
Yep.
So,
Damn.
it's that place is a hellhole. And they get away with it because the majority of the people they're treating don't speak this language and don't speak some derivative of Spanish. They're speaking Bolivian, they're speaking Brazilian. I don't even know what that is. Some of them came in speaking French. There's a lot of different languages coming across that border. So,
Portuguese.
they Portuguese, that's a biggie. But these people are not receiving appropriate care. They're not.
Right. Okay.
So, off the rant. I'm scaring
Okay.
everybody to death.
Well, I would like to take this momentary pause to say, everyone watching, Lynn is calm and friendly and nice now. She is. She can call on many things when
Yes, I
she's not
can.
being calm and friendly and nice. And
Oh, actually, the worst of it is if I'm exceptionally calm,
No, you don't want
that's
to
a
be.
time to be afraid.
right, but she's being friendly here on the show, everyone watching. She
Well,
has no
I'm reining
reason,
it in.
yeah, she has no reason to bring it down on us. So she's reporting what she knows. Be grateful.
Now,
You meet her
let me
here.
put it to let me put it to you this way: most of the individuals that were dealing with
Most of them.
Frank don't have a job there anymore.
Yeah,
Neither does their boss.
yeah.
And I
And
hope that that nurse that
That
helped put
nurse is
Frank back
gone.
together again.
Sorry,
I hope that nurse that helped put Frank back together again
she's still
got
there.
a better job.
I would wish that for her as well. Um, I don't know how well people can handle this. At one point, they were changing off a machine that should have never been on him, never ever been on him, collecting collecting auxiliary blood and guts. And the while they were changing it, he gagged, and the nurse caught his entrails in her arms. She did not let them hit the floor. As far as I'm concerned, that woman's a hero. If it had happened, uh, he wouldn't be here. I know that
Nathan, there's a
for
clicking
sure.
sound on her voice.
Sorry?
Nathan, there's a clicking sound on her voice.
yeah, Lynn, I think it's your headset is clicking and chirping just as you
Is it
speak.
really? Oh
Yeah, it's
my.
been that way. And I can listen through it, but it's not super bad. It's just happening.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Hmm.
Um,
I'll tell you what. Give me a minute. I'm going to go out and I'll come right back in and
okay.
I'll have Frank put my headset on. That's probably going to be best anyway.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay?
you're okay.
Just give me a minute.
Okay. We'll be
Yeah,
here.
I'll put me on that mute and I'll have him do the job. Okay?
Okie doke.
All right.
Alrighty then. Okay. Yeah. Don't mess with the old Atlantis crew, people. Bad things tend to happen to the people who mess with the Atlantis crew. And I put it out there in my first hour that so far I have found us here on the show. So that's Lynn, Joe, me, Frank, um, Raven. I do believe it's Raven too. And also Michael Roser from Dark Arrow Paranormal. He's in Belize right now investigating actual ruins and he's looking for stuff. And I'm telling him, dude, I wish I was there. I really do. Okay, she's got her headset in hand. Headset is in hand and is getting hooked up. But I don't mean bad things happen like bad luck. I'm talking like freaking mortality happens. The worst, all odds against it, and it'll happen. You get the 1% chance that something could go wrong, it will go wrong. It's just crazy. It's crazy like that. So, but I am having to take a moment away also. So, well, crap. No, never mind. Let's see. Yeah, I have to take a moment myself. So, watch for ghosts.
There we go. See, No, I haven't watched Skinwalker Ranch. I haven't paid attention to any of their videos. I think I looked at one and got that it looked too Hollywood to me.
Howdy, folks.
Howdy, there you are. We needed somebody else in here. Can you hear me?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Horrible.
What? Did you say horrible?
Yeah, I'm on my let's see, fifth headset in here tonight. Hi, Raven.
Hey, Raven. Come on in whenever you're ready.
Well, we were missing Nathan.
Probably coffee break.
Yeah, you probably need to send her the link.
Little stinker. Hey, Jeanette, how you doing? How's everybody in the chat doing? It's been a busy, busy day for us here at Cast of the Shadow.
What is the ticking sound?
Hope you guys all had a great week. We had a pretty good week. Had a big show just a few minutes ago, a 3-hour live stream, and it was pretty epic. A couple little snags and a little bit of personal stuff
Okay,
going
I'm
on.
back. Whoa, who is ticking?
Is it me? I'll mute. You can tell.
Yeah, it's you, Lynette. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, you're ticking. But let me.
Did you get any surprise packages in the mail today? Okay, good.
No, not so bad. The only surprise I got.
Whoa, lots of noise.
Coming through my mic.
I've never heard that before.
That's electrical noise. Let me make sure it's not me.
Turn down the fan on the AC a little bit. Is that quiet or something? No, we're going. I'm going to play one of the later on.
Thanks, buddy. You did great tonight. Was a good show.
I don't hear anything at all. Did that straighten it up?
There's a lot of ticking on the line. No, let me I can give you a sample. Hang on.
Oh, it was you. Ah, okay. I got a camera. What malfunction? Yeah. What? Go to settings. Settings. Audio. Okay. Microphone. This one? That's USB. That's the one. I think that might actually be their camera. Yeah, that's 20.
Got voice recorder. Let me. Okay, the ticking stopped.
Yeah. Okay.
What was that?
It was my camera trying to interfere with my microphone.
What was the ticking? What did you turn off?
We changed the camera. We turned the camera's audio off and turned on the microphone to the
Headset?
yeah, the headset.
Okay, cool. Well, that was it. Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah.
they were stepping on each other.
Yes.
You are
Exactly.
much better quality now. Oh, so
Excellent.
much better.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yep.
Sometimes
Thanks,
I
Diane.
affect electrical things not too well.
Yeah. Hey, Raven is back. Raven's here. Yeah, Raven is here. Welcome back, Raven. I sent you a link in Facebook Messenger. Not aliens. um, but yeah, we're back. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to take a restroom break. I've got
Okay.
this fancy coffee that I've been drinking. Okay,
How fancy is it?
it's $30 a bag. Fancy. It's like, yeah, I shouldn't have because it's
Oh,
not. It's
putting on
being
the
it.
Ritz.
It's not. It's it's not what it's cracked up to be. You should see the emails they're sending me. It's Rise mushroom coffee, and
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
there's good mushroom coffee. This ain't it, right? It shouldn't be even marked as coffee. It should be, a medical or a health food supplement because it's good for you, but it is not coffee. No.
That sounds
There's
like instant coffee. It's
It
not
is
really
instant.
coffee.
Right, it is instant and it's not very good. I just add it to the regular coffee because it is the first time I tasted it yesterday, tasted like hot water. I put creamer and cinnamon in it. It tasted like watered down creamer and cinnamon. I'm like, this is what is
God.
this? Yeah, so I'm just like,
That sounds like you mix it up really, really carefully, and then you take it over to the sink and you turn it over.
yeah, but it is got all that cool mushroom stuff in it. So, mental clarity type stuff.
You want
So,
mental
Well,
clarity?
pour it on your tomato plant outside.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
fungus will
mushrooms
help
are
the
for
tomato
pizza,
plant.
not coffee.
yeah.
I'm
Just saying.
getting this image of a really huge plant that eats Nathan. No.
Feed me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I was going to
Gee,
say
Audrey 3, maybe?
mental clarity. Try a teaspoon to a tablespoon of MCT oil. That will put your head together in a hurry.
Thank you, Cindy. I had a really big streamversary, as my friends were calling it, just a while ago. Nathan was on for a bit. I was trying to get James to be on it as well at the same time, trying to line things up, and it just didn't work out the way I was hoping it would. But you know,
Is that the
th-
purple stripe?
no, it's just a tie.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay. I
yeah.
wondered
You
what
know,
that was.
you're trying to class the joint up a little bit. It was our 1 year anniversary of live streaming, and we had just the biggest names in our community on, and it was quite the show. I'm glad you were able to make it, Nathan. It wouldn't have been the same without you. And I'm trying to get that message through to James, but he's AFK right now, so hopefully everything's going to work out for him as well. Got a lot of friends out there in a lot of pain that we're going to have to go into double time prayers for before the night is over. Oh wait, it's almost over. Um, I'm sorry to
Never
hear
too
about your.
late.
Right. No, I mean before it's midnight. That's all. I was going chronologically, not. Yeah, I never give in to despair or anything like that. That's something he actually taught me. And I'm sorry to hear about your computer troubles. I could have swore that the whiz kid would have fixed that all up for you. What happened, Nathan? You're muted. You're still muted.
Shadow, do you know why they called midnight the witching hour?
uh, I've got a couple of theories. Mostly because that's when all the craziness starts happening.
Uh-uh.
That's the time when 8 o'clock ceremony finally gets started.
8 o'clock ceremony finally gets started, and you get down and dirty to the good stuff at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I've been there for those
Because that's
those
the
damn
witching
near
hour.
those darn near 3 a.m. shows with you guys. It's a good thing it's Saturday night and I don't have to wake up early on Sunday. Um, one of the few days in the week I actually get to sleep in late. As a matter of fact, it's the only day I get to sleep in late. And
Well, we're sort of used to the late hour, huh, Joe? Unless little dog says it's time to go to bed, and then all things stop. The little dog gets priority.
They trained her.
Well, anyway, the 3 a.m. hour, 3 to 5, is when a lot of folks who are sinking go ahead and do that last sink. I don't. That just seems to be a common thing. I've seen it many times where everything went really good that day, and they were gone soon after 3 a.m. So whatever that
I
means,
know.
I just
I
think it's
know.
a late. There's something about that time of night that everything just sort of stops. No, the ones that are have been out partying all night or making their way home. The really bad domestic fights are finished by 3, and that's been my experience of it.
Diane's saying she can't hear me. I had my stuff muted for a second. I'm better now.
Yeah. Oh
I'm
yeah, we
trying
yes,
can
we
to
can
hear you
send.
always,
typing.
even when Nathan's muted, we can hear him typing.
Can we? I don't think so.
You
It's
I know
can't
we
because
probably
should.
quantum.
it's all on the shoulder.
The shadow knows. Oh, there he is. That's Joe. That's not Shadow. What the heck?
I've been in the shadow all night since I turned off the overhead because the buzzing noise.
Oh, that's
Mm.
classic. Not
Yeah,
Raven. She's a rock star. This is about brunch time for her.
There you go. Yeah, it's time to
Yeah,
get Where's Edward? Where's Ed's signs? It's time for pancakes at 3 a.m.
yeah, I'd be willing to bet that in her secret identity life, Raven was in like the Bangles or something.
The Bangles.
This is a rock band from the '80s.
Walking like an
Oh, okay.
Egyptian.
Okay, yeah. Well, Frank would know that. I know. I was raising kids
Or
in the
driving like a
80s.
New Mexican.
No, no, no Mexicans. No, not
My
walking
boy's
like one
Mexican.
anyway.
Well, that's what he keeps telling himself.
Well, Cindy Beck's in for pancakes.
Okay. Raven, your link has been sent. Your new link has been sent. Sorry about
Excuse
that. I
me.
thought I sent it, but it didn't take.
Yeah, I had a bit of a crush on at least one member of the Bangles back in the day, but
Oh,
alas, it was just never meant to be.
yeah.
But okay, we were talking now, huh?
See, I knew she was in a band. Yeah, I was too, Raven. Actually, I like 5 of them. They all suck.
I was in a band. So
What did you
played the
play?
trombone.
Trombone. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not the instrument to get the ladies. I'm sorry to tell you, Joe. Um,
You might be surprised.
no, statistically, it's the drummers. It's always the drummers. Trust me.
You gotta
And
watch
when
out
you
for
were,
that triangle player though.
trust me, I know when you're the lead singer and they're all hanging out with the drummer, you know you're in the wrong band.
Now, that trombone player can hold his breath for a very long time. That makes him a hell
Oh
of a kisser.
Not touching that one. Not even touching that one. Not saying a damn word.
I
That's
knew
my
a
story. I'm
trombone
sticking with.
player in high school. What can I say? I'm not going to say
I
very much more.
I had a crush on a saxophone player. Just putting that out there.
well, they wouldn't let me take the piano on the field.
Yeah, okay, well, driving back home.
Trying anyway, huh?
Yeah,
But
Moving right
driving.
along.
Yeah. um, First hour and earlier, we were talking about medical weird stuff happening and implants and sampling and things that I have seen or taken reports for. I've taken reports for. Uh, there's this doctor. I don't know how to put it. Like a form that you see, a giveaway, about 6 feet tall, maybe shorter, covered up, splash guard, PPE, mask, gown, scrubs, gloves, can only see the back of his neck. And two people so far have given me reports of this person. Three people, sorry, had given me reports of this kind of person in medical environments. One was in the 80s, so that's, you know, kind of strange. Two were recent from 2019 and 2020 or
I
20
I
something.
have a question for you, Nathan.
Good.
Did uh, did Maria have that experience? Uh, Obviously, 2019 was that in what month was that?
I don't remember. I believe it was something like November or December. I'm not sure.
Well, at that time they were just realizing that we had a pandemic on our hands,
Yeah.
and everybody was gloving up, masking up, and doing everything they possibly could to avoid becoming sick, especially in the medical community.
Hmm.
So I'm wondering if we can debunk some of that, maybe. Um, but it just I even here they were starting to mask up, but it was February, March by the time that happened, 2020,
Right.
when they said you will glove up, you will mask up, and the more precautions you take, the better off you are, and stay home.
Right.
So that might be a
well,
way to debunk it. But if God bless you, Bella. Um, um, the I just find it a little bit strange, maybe not entirely strange, that he was gowned up so head to toe,
Hmm.
But then again, I maintain the medical community knew this stuff was coming in as early as September. I knew about it in August.
Yeah, there was whispers of it
Yeah,
getting to
Yep.
me. I remember in October, November, though it wasn't. There weren't sweeping policy changes until later
yeah.
of 2019.
Well,
Yeah, I had a friend who got real sick several months before, and they didn't know what it was. And later on, it turned out that it was that. And They there was no,
There's nothing to do.
well, not only that, but they had no idea where it came from because there was nobody else connected to him, that was also sick like that. None of his family, none of his friends or coworkers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He just got hit with it, and he damn near died.
Hmm.
He was in the hospital for like 2 weeks, and miraculously, he's a young, hardworking guy, so he pulled through. But yeah, we haven't heard the last of it, and we definitely haven't heard, the whole truth.
Oh
Right.
no,
Oh no, we never will.
now this goes beyond us, right? This goes beyond general society, and that's all
Yeah.
we have. That's all I have to work with. Is what we can see with our eyes. I had something in 2019. Me, my sister, her husband, we all got sick with something, and she described it, and I agree, the weirdest flu ever.
Yeah.
And it
That's
was
exactly what we got.
right, and
And
Remember
it was about
Typhoid
that
Mary?
time. Sorry, please.
Remember Typhoid Mary?
Yeah, I remember. I'm just trying to ignore that part, the avoid embarrassment and not my own.
I don't think she's listening.
I think
Thank you for
that
the cute dog comments, but she's on alert. She's alerted for something, and I don't know what. And
maybe
she's
you're
not telling
upset.
me to leave.
Okay.
Maybe.
mm, well, maybe she's taking your sitting in a dark room the wrong way.
Yeah.
So she's used to
Um.
that. Couple candles. I'm good.
Mm.
Yeah. It.
But mm,
We got sick. About the beginning of January. Not long before that. Before that, uh, one of our friends got sick too, and it was the worst flu I've ever had. The absolute worst. And what Frank and I just went into to okay, everybody down. You know, when family got sick almost at the same time, and Frank and I took turns every hour get up and take and see the family, make sure they're hydrated, if they need something to eat, and back to bed. And we alternated doing that, and we got everybody through it. But this household takes a extreme amount of vitamin D.
mm,
Frank has had bariatric; that's part of his regimen, and I picked it up, of course, because of porphyria. And I gotta say that little bit of vitamin D is awfully nice in comparison to eyeing your friend's carotid artery. So anyway, it's not so bad, but we've kept ourselves going with quite a lot of supplementation and making sure that we're on the ball with that. And I'm sure that that's why we didn't get it worse than we got it. We had something to fight it with. Of course,
mhm,
this whole household is loaded with uh, people who drink a huge amount of hot coffee. Scalding hot coffee. So that couldn't have done anything but help too. So,
And play with pills, too.
and play with what?
I'm talking about Nathan's sounds. It sounds like he's playing the pills over there.
oh yeah, I was looking for my vitamin D. Don't
Yeah,
have any
take your
more.
vitamin D.
I
I
got to
think
get more.
even now with these variants, they're finding that vitamin D helps a great deal. Now, does it prevent it? Does it make it not happen? I don't know that. I'm not a
Works for
I'm
me.
not a I'm not a physician. I'm not even a nurse anymore. So, just nothing. But you know, I I I went with my gut feeling how to handle it. and we did pretty well. We're all alive, and that counts for something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then the whole house of us got sick again in June of last year. And that wasn't nearly as bad as the first time. Not nearly. And yes, we had the shots, but
Hmm.
they weren't bourbon, I promise.
Hmm.
But
Oh, you mean like that flu shot?
Never even thought
oh,
the thought
yeah.
never even occurred to me. I got really lucky. I literally gotten nothing. I got the sniffles, nothing. I haven't been sick in about 4 or 5 years, and
Knock on
I
wood.
yeah, I did all the right things at the beginning, but after the 14 days nonsense was had come and gone, and I started doing research. I'm like, yeah, not buying into what they're selling, and uh, but yeah, I got real lucky. I don't know. I mean, I have COPD. I smoke like a chimney, and you know, I don't, I mean, I was, taking my vitamins and apple cider vinegar and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But if it had come anywhere near me, you know, I could have been, one of the casualties. And again,
Well, I've never smoked. I had an office that I was in that was sort of a blue funk, but even then we kept a window open and a fan running at all times because I really don't handle that well. But I've never smoked, and here I am with this nonsense. So I
Hmm.
don't know that. I think some of us have a predisposition to it, some of us don't.
well, I heard
Suppose
early
that
on that nicotine actually, killed it. So
that's what
I'm gonna go
Frank
with that.
maintains. Frank's an avid smoker,
Mhm.
and he had that added benefit, if you will. He smokes and he has that. Me, all I got's incense. So and
Hey, Justin, welcome to the show, buddy. He was in my show earlier this evening, and it was a great show. Thanks for being there, man.
Yeah. Okay. We're at the 1 hour, just after the 1 hour mark. Like and subscribe. Obligatory. I have to call it out. R. Keith has gotten his link sent to him. He may show up. He might be busy. I'm not sure. Raven's link is sent. I was expecting her in at any minute, but uh, yeah, Raven's having
She
some
said she was having
technical
some computer.
problems.
Yeah, she said she was having some computer issues.
yeah.
That
Uh,
is an understatement. Okay, and this is like, holy. I got her functional, but not using the computer. I got her functional using her phone. She has good hardware, really good hardware, and she shouldn't have any problems. It's just using it, knowing how to use it. Because you give
Yeah,
somebody
that's
who's been
everything.
driving, yeah, you give somebody who's been driving an old Chevy for 20 years. All of a sudden, you give them a Ferrari, they're going to be like, "This doesn't
uh,
compare to my old Chevy."
no,
And
that's not
she's got
good.
the Ferrari.
You know, I think I have Frank, and thank God because I wouldn't be able to do any of this. I know that already. It's not my sweet spot at all. And he if I have a problem of any kind, he usually fixes it within 5 minutes. I usually don't have
no,
to wait even.
no, Justin. He's doing some stuff. I've got it saved. I will show him that comic as soon as I get the opportunity. That was pretty funny. And he will definitely get a kick out of it.
Okay.
Okay, let me just.
Well, there's a suggestion of taking a road trip over to Ravens
Yeah, it's been
place, and
postponed, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I got I've got a list of things to fix up there, and I'm up for it. I'm totally up for it. That is my cup of tea or coffee. That is my cup of
Coffee.
coffee.
That stuff you've been drinking with the mushroom, that's tea.
Yeah, it is tea. It really is. I'm just gonna start using it as an additive for coffee because yeah, I want the benefits, but I want coffee.
The real thing.
I want benefits, but I want coffee. Okay, I'm
Well,
gonna
no
try
worries.
to get into the chat here to where I can actually type.
Okay.
And but yeah, Cindy is talking about me going taking a road trip to see Raven. Yeah, I want that to happen, but I logistically it's difficult to do that. Though it's just a little. She's directly north of me, and I just need to go do it. I could go do it. I was planning on going Friday, but she called it off, and I was like, okay, okay.
What do you think the length of time is? 500 miles, 200? I don't know.
Whatever 4 hours is, probably 200 and
400.
300. Okay, whatever 200,
400. I always
whatever that
figure
is.
I always figure 100 miles per or yeah, per of course that's physically not possible, but uh I get to where I'm going usually
Yep.
early.
It's 75 the police are beginning to look for you.
Well,
You,
Diane,
you usually just make those fast trips much quicker than we do,
yeah.
Joe.
Joe has a warp drive.
Yes, he does. I think it's because he wears his size 13. That's got to be it.
Yeah, Diane, I did something. I helped, and I will let Raven go into it if she wants to. So, yeah, I did some. I helped her on the phone, but I did diagnostic and figured out what was going on. And now she's using her phone, not her computer. Her computer is down for the count. Oh, Cindy, got it. Ready. I'm ready. She's saying, yeah, I am cat friend. I am friend of all cats. So, not a problem. And,
I'm seriously thinking of putting a sign on my house and do not knock. I have dogs. If they'll bark, I'll scream. Stuff will get real.
yeah.
They don't have to knock around here.
No, mine know it.
Yep. Bella
My,
goes flying across your house.
we
Yes, I know you're
figured
here.
out. We figured out our Bob is deaf. Our little schnauzer is deaf. Of course, he's purely white. That happens often with that color configuration.
Hmm.
But the I don't know that there's anything to be done about it. I doubt it, and I don't think that if I'm not wearing a hearing aid, I'm not going to make him. So, but and I've had. Thanks, Diane. I cannot look at chat and try to hold a conversation. I just can't do it. I do apologize for that.
A
I have a limited attention span.
Same here. Same here. If I look at the chat, I am doing the chat. If I'm looking
Yeah,
at the screen, I'm doing the screen.
yeah.
So that's I like to go to the chat every couple few minutes, but I will concentrate on what's on the screen first, and then if the chat starts to fill up, I'm like, oh, let's go to the chat. I do that. I'm thinking that's a good way to do. At least it works for my first hour solo, and but ugh, Anyway, yeah,
Well,
all kinds of technical problems we're going to try to get over.
yeah, I've had handicapped animals back and forth, but I always knew up front that they had a handicap so I could work with it. I feel kind of stupid. I've had Bob for 3 years, and I did not realize he was deaf. Did not know it. And because he has that low voice, he when he wants to go out, he goes out, so he can hear himself. But I think I'm going to have to teach him some hand signals and things like that because he's smart. I know he's smart, but he wasn't catching on. So we'll just have to talk to him a different way.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's just one of the fun things this week. What was it? I can't think of. There was something really cool happened early on, and I don't recall what it was.
Funny how that works. I mean, so much cool stuff. I'm with Keith on this one.
Yeah,
Everything is
every day
weird.
there is something.
Yeah,
You
there's
know, I
something
I
every
don't
day.
I don't go a day without hearing from the universe, and I don't have trouble with gathering that information. Not at all. Um, I had told Frank that I really wish that we could make our own ice cream. I'm have a little borderline diabetes thing going on,
Hmm.
and so I need sugar-free stuff like that. And I probably don't need a lot of it, but I want it. I'm an ice cream fiend. But it's not just that. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to make a vat of ice cream that didn't have certain elements like eggs or
Hmm.
cinnamon or some of those things that get hidden in ice cream. And the cinnamon, funny, you just put that up. I must have been reading your mind. Cinnamon's not a friend here. I've
Hmm.
got my daughter is allergic to it,
Aw.
and so anything gets baked, it's in the air. We have to make sure she is gone for the day before we do anything like that.
Hmm.
So but getting ice cream that I know that is safe for her, safe for Joe, you know, I think that would be a very cool thing.
Well, I can't have any ice cream because lactose intolerant.
Well, that's when you make it with almond milk.
Yeah, and I I agree, and I got to find good almond milk too because I looked at the ingredients of almond milk, and the first ingredient was milk. I'm like, what's the point here?
Milk?
Yeah, it was the
Seriously?
good stuff. It was the silk. I looked up silk almond milk, and it was first ingredient milk. I'm like, what? So it was like
Oh,
30% almond milk, 70% not almond milk,
oh,
and
what a bunch of liars.
yeah,
Oh,
and
can you
so
imagine the trouble they've caused people? But
yeah.
I have to read ingredient lists. I have to look at everything that comes in to make sure that somebody in this house is going to drop dead over it. And it's one of those things. I personally, I love cinnamon. I
Yeah,
would have that morning, noon, night.
I mentioned cinnamon because I am taking cinnamon pills as treatment for blood sugar regulation, right?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
eat a lot of cinnamon. I put cinnamon in my coffee. That's about
Mhm.
it. And that's not enough. So it's
Well, it requires
1500
quite
mil.
a bit.
Yeah, this is 1500 milligrams per. It's I take 3 of these. That's 1500, and that's basically a tablespoon, right? Basically,
Okay.
it's a decent sized tablespoon, and
Per
I take
cap or
this
per
hmm,
per per capsule or for the day?
for the half day. I start my morning with 1,500. That's
Uh-huh.
500 times three. There's three. There's
Okay.
500 per capsule,
Okay.
and it
And it
doesn't.
calls for 3 times a day, right?
Well, as needed, as you feel. I try to do it per meal,
Yeah.
but usually it's twice a day, and works. It works really good. I have not been on any blood sugar medications for months,
Mm-hmm. Hey,
and I.
then
Mhm,
and put it right up there on the screen, Nathan. Nobody here is a doctor. Nobody here is making any
right?
medical claims.
No,
None of
but
that's happening here.
this works
This just
for
happens to
me.
be for us.
This works for me, and it's probably quantum.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
there you are. Wondered where you got to.
Bella's
Hi,
been on
Joe.
alert all evening.
Sorry.
Bella's been on alert all evening.
Mm,
When the dogs are up and down the street are barking.
somebody snooping around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, Bella doesn't alert for nothing. So my guys, if Monty alerts, Bob wants to know why. So it's one of those deals.
I don't have any animals around here to help alert me. I get other alerts.
Uh-huh.
They're very cool, and it's very strange. It's hard to explain.
Well, we've had somebody that walked up and down the street breaking into vehicles and taking what wasn't tied down.
Hmm.
And
Been a problem all evening, Justin.
I think that that's a lot of it. Yeah, there's quite a lot of indigent people looking for something at all to just help make their lives work. That's being
Yeah,
generous. I know it is, but I'd rather be generous.
yeah. Let me see. I got to manage the show a little bit. Oh no, I'm fine. It's fine. Something happened.
But
I have to go check out behind the scenes because Shadow's got his banner up here. I want my banner up here too.
yeah, you should be able to do that.
Yeah, I just got to. It takes a minute because I'm two devices using the same pipe. So what do
Mhm.
you do? But I can go backstage. Um, but oh, sorry. No, I'm just banter, just talking.
That's bizarre. You had a note back in a minute at 11:08. It finally just showed on your chat.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's a little bit late on the chat in there, but it does happen.
There we go. That's better. That's something.
Yeah, you stuck it over in the shadow. Son.
Let's see. Let's do this
Shadow
too.
looks like he might be involved in something right now.
There we go.
So,
I
all
like
right,
blue.
that's pretty.
I
I like
like
that.
blue. Why
Well,
am I on?
you're learning and getting it all together.
Yeah. Let's see. What does this do?
Last time I said
Okay.
something like that, things went boom. I don't ask that question anymore. What does it
Okay.
do? Leave it alone. No.
All
Zoe,
right. We're back.
don't.
Yes, Jeanette. Do try cinnamon supplements. I take 2 or 3 as I eat. 500 milligrams a piece. They sell them at Walmart. Try it. Couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Not
Nothing.
medical professionals here on the show, just
No.
practical experience.
I've
This is
had.
what this is what helps me.
Yeah.
And
No, I've had pretty decent luck with the keto carnivore diet,
uh,
and that has got my sugars down nice and steady. So,
I've been not doing keto, but I do lots of spinach and avocado.
mhm,
I do
that's both
lots and lots of
keto.
yeah, really good stuff. People look at me funny when I order a cheeseburger with either avocado or avocado and spinach, and they're like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
Just can you do it?"
I order it without the bun. Now that's getting a dirty look. Like now what do I do? I've
No,
never
Carl's
done
Jr.
it.
loves you.
Sorry.
Carl's Jr. loves you. They specialize in that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're great at it. They're very good at it. I don't eat lettuce, but they're perfectly willing to throw it in a box for me, and I can eat it like a savage. So it's perfectly good.
Okay, but yeah. So tonight's show has been medical and
Yeah.
practical medical, observed medical, and everyone. I want to reiterate this. Everyone in the chat, when you go to doctor, pharmacy, anything, watch for those people. There's two that I can say I've seen. About
Uh
six
huh.
feet tall, obscured features, covered up except for the back of the neck. Watch for that type of person. Also, watch for someone who is under 6 feet tall, five, anywhere under 6 feet tall, right? That appears to be a chubby person, all right, with arms that are slightly shorter, waist that is slightly lower. Watch for those people because um that's the next thing I wanted to bring on, right? Was I have been noticing now this has had to have been going on for 30 plus years.
Hmm.
These people have been showing up with these features that look like that. The thickly built, shorter arms, lower waisted, and also large eyes. Not enough to look not human, but enough to look notable, like they have very large eyes. I want to call again on look at the star seeds that are out there. The people on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Look at
Yeah.
those guys. They call themselves star seeds. Look at their eyes. They're larger.
They
Not
usually are. Yeah.
yeah, not hugely so, but just large enough to note, wow, that person has really pretty eyes. Keep a lookout because you know how art imitates life, imitates art,
Yeah.
right?
Sure. Sure.
Who has seen Picard, the latest episode of Picard? Okay, well, I will go ahead and say spoiler alert, right? Because that writer, me and Keith have talked about this, about all these different toy lines and videos and
Yeah.
YouTube shows and movies and TV. We've talked a little bit about this, like they're remembering something and it's going into
Uh-huh.
the writing of it. It happened in Picard. Okay, now Picard, what they did was they had an infiltration using technology to input DNA using a teleporter, okay, a transporter. Now, I don't think that's what's been happening here, but that's a bell ringing, right? And I'm seeing it because these people, the starseeds, they're about 30 years old or less that have these features thickly built, short arms, short legs, or large eyes. And they're skinny. I mean, not inhumanly skinny, but just on the skinny side. And they're built a slightly bit different than we are. But their eyes are the tell, right? I'm starting to think that the show Picard has picked up on we're being seeded not on a physical level, on a quantum level, because our quantum link is so intertwined. Our DNA is quantum linked. Okay, it just
Our DNA is changing.
right,
Oh yeah.
and it's happening from outside as well as inside. The humans are doing it too, not
I'm on
just.
the telephone, please.
But
Sorry
we're
about that.
that's okay. We're being altered in such a way that it's creeped in, and we're accepting it now. When has that ever happened? Elongated skulls. That has happened. We have people with elongated skulls now, and they're not boarded. Okay, they're not where the head is shaped. Some of them are, some of them aren't. You can go look. We can. They're over there right now in Belize, and they're talking to these people. Some live there, right? Elongated skull people. They do. It's in the history books. It's in just biology and population. That is something that happened. Okay, that's something.
Well, they've
That's not
tried
everything.
really hard to debunk that. They really
Hmm.
have, and they've attributed it more to the
Diet.
Vine board. You know
Right, the
that
boarding.
they're yeah they put children,
Yeah, but
newborns
you
on
can see
that.
all the way back. You can see all the way back in Scientific America, back when I was
Right.
getting it, back in 2017. They were discussing all the emerging signs of DNA change in human beings. Or some of it has to do with the food we're eating. Some of it has to do with the fact that we are now eating microplastics in all of our
Mm,
food because it goes to the plants and gets to us. Uh,
right.
DNA changes over time, period. But yes, the extreme is what we need to be looking at.
Yeah, that is something that can be observed and tracked. I'm talking about the stuff that seems to be mutation, but it seems to be uniform mutation. There's a lot of it. There's a guy I work with that he is way out there. Okay, he is built like what do we got? Raven is coming in as soon as her signal makes it through. But okay, all right. Let's see, Raven. I'm gonna bring you on the stream, and then I'm gonna adjust your audio.
Hi, Raven.
Okay. Hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
No,
Can you hear me?
now I do.
There we
Whoa,
are. I hear you fine. That's unusual.
you blasted me out,
Yeah.
I
but
did.
you're good now. I got your mic
Okay.
settings.
Good.
Welcome back
Okay.
to the Quantum Show,
Go see.
Raven. You're part of the
I'm on the.
Atlantis crew.
Hi.
Did
Hi.
you
Yay!
get
Yay! Thank you
the
so much.
hardware?
Wonderful. No, I did not get it all. So I'm on the computer right now,
The computer's working?
but I will. No, I'm just using the on-screen keyboard thing that you showed me
Yeah,
from the Windows R or whatever we did.
right.
So it's very slow going because I have to use it. I can use my cursor because I cannot type any numbers or letters. The keyboard
Right.
does not work. I deleted the app that makes that happen, I guess. And then I deleted the app that could have fixed that, and a few others that I thought I didn't need, trying to free up some memory. And then it was like, oh shit! And it's 3:30 in the morning. So what do? I text Nathan. Help! And thank God he was still up. Poor guy. I'm sure next time he's not going to answer that text. I can tell you because it was after 6:30.
Get the hard drive. Get the hard
I
drive.
just I was doing some price comparisons and things like that, and yeah, I will get it. I'm not sure if I'm
Amazon.
just going to go Amazon or if I'm going to go
Amazon. Toshiba, 2 terabyte.
So then I had a
Easy.
cat who decided that my printer would be a nice place to barf. And so that's why I'm late getting on and I have to hurry clean that up. What is wrong with these animals? I have no idea. And then the raccoon broke in through my barricade and he came in house twice. Just in the last, this is all happening in the last 30 minutes here, this stuff. And then a can of whipped cream exploded on my desk. How that happened, I'm not exactly sure. I was going to have that with some strawberries and I left it here and the cats were all gathered around it. I don't know what the hell they did, but it's now all over my paperwork. And here I am. How are you?
Hi, how are you
Okay.
doing, Raven? Are you holding up all right?
Wonderful, Raven.
It's been crazy. And the funny thing is, it's Mercury retrograde, and you know how the mystique of Mercury retrograde is that you know all of your communications break down, all your appliances.
That little mud ball's not having that effect. It's the
Yeah.
solar flares.
So why are you having
Yeah.
a bad day, Joe?
Why am I having a bad day? What's
Yeah,
so
why?
bad about my day?
You said a
Oh,
little
he's
while ago
always
you had a
like that,
rough day.
Raven. Don't worry about it.
Are you having technical problems too?
Yeah, I've tried 5 different headsets here.
Yeah.
I'm on the one that makes me sound muted, but at least it has sound.
Yeah, you sound
We all
just a
had a
little bit
little bit of it
muffled.
tonight.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
we-
I had cross modulation there.
So I heard you guys talking about the elongated skulls. I've
Yeah.
had this argument with many people
Yes.
before. And the thing, the real elongated skulls, you know, they always try to say it's cradle boarding and all this kind of stuff. Well,
hmm
the real ones, they have only 2 sutures, and the human skull has 3. You can't fake that, and cradle boarding is not going to cause the sutures to be different. And there's also 2 holes in the back of the skull, right at the base, where presumably a couple of veins or arteries or something go through there that they have that we don't. The eye sockets are also. I used to know the exact measurement. The eye sockets are bigger also than the
Yeah.
human skull.
Yeah,
And
I
so,
was talking about the elongated skulls. The people who have them have been fully integrated into society and now are accepted. I use that as an example. And they are there. They're in
Oh, yeah.
South America, Middle East, United States, because of now we bring everybody goes everywhere, you know. So they're everywhere. They're all over the place.
so are you saying
And
there's some living people that have the
Yeah.
elongated skulls that are?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm talking about people who have been integrated in society in the past. Elongated skull is my example. Those people are part of society right now, and you can talk to them. They're just people. Everybody says they're just people because they are just people. They're just humans living on a planet Earth, just like the rest of us. And use that as an example of genetic manipulation in the past as it is happening now with the people with the large eyes, slight build. And it's not physically
Yeah.
traceable, right? It's not physical. There's no trace because these people, I can leave links to people who star seeds. Look at them. They have large eyes, slight builds, slightly different builds, and they look like bodybuilders. And okay, but not
mm-hmm.
intentional because it's like their numbers are different than ours, like body fat ratio and proportions. Okay, the people with the large eyes, star seeds. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? That one. She's really controversial because she's doing it. Marina Seren.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
She's real controversial, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't take her seriously. But you know what? Keep an eye on her. Don't think she's a threat. She's no threat. But
Yeah.
keep an eye on her.
I
Marina
subscribe
Seren
to
is
her
one.
YouTube.
Yeah, Lily Nova is another. And I will Links will be in the description after the show. Lily Nova, Lily Starseed is another one. Amy has a person on a lot. She's one too. But I was starting. They are accepted in society because they come from us. It's an
Yeah.
aberration, but it seems to be a common aberration. Why? How? They don't have the kind of exposure to, let's see, radiation, chemicals, all the stuff that Joe brought up. That now that stuff causes birth defects. They are badly, noticeable. They're bad. They're not good for you. These
Well,
guys,
a lot of times a birth defect or a gene mutation just gets passed on in the family too.
right?
So,
And
that
where did it?
doesn't necessarily have to be an alien thing.
Right. Okay. I think we lost Joe
Yeah, I see that.
once again.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Well,
Come back.
and he's back. He's coming back. Joe's hardware is on the way. All right.
I'm just
Joe's new.
taking a
Yes.
little O2 break here, so don't mind me.
Okay. Let me make sure your mic is good, Joe. Yeah, you're good. Settings seem to persist. Okay.
I lost my coffee.
Me too. Me and Amy, we're out of coffee. We're
I
going
lost
after
my
Bigelow.
Oh, I'll be right. Hang on, I gotta go get my coffee.
Okay.
I think I left it in.
But I was talking about those people because now I've got a kid that I work with. He is out there. Zero social skills. I thought he just didn't like me, right? No, he
Mhm.
treats everybody like this. He'll walk right past you without even acknowledging your presence. And he is built. Now, he is tall, right? He's really tall. And his arms slightly short, waist slightly low, pasty white skin, and a strangely shaped head.
God, he sounds like a
Aut-
Syrian.
He might be, I don't know, but the strangely, he's a coworker, so I'm not going to mess with him, right?
No,
I'm not
of course
going.
not.
He is under observation. Say, I am observing him. I am
Mhm.
watching him,
Mm-hmm.
and it took me a little while to get over. See, I tried to talk to him because he has a super deep voice. Pitch and timbre are just super deep, which is, I think, it's part of the aberration. And I was trying to make friends with him, but he was like, just he would walk past me like he didn't even notice I was there. I'm like, that pissed me off at first, but now I'm starting to think, I don't
He
think,
may simply be socially awkward
Yeah, they're very.
or autistic even. 'Cause-
right. And like I mentioned to you in the backstage, autism, the way it's been coming up so prominently, I don't know if it's not another step in evolution and something that is needed at the moment. It won't
Yeah.
be needed in 2 more generations, but it's needed now for some reason.
Well, and
I have
certain
heard that, and
autistics.
a lot of these doctors think the same thing. And the worst thing to do is put these kids on all these drugs and Ritalin
Oh
and,
yeah.
and all this. They are super sensitive, and they've got more of their ladders within their DNA are connected than what we
You
have.
know
They're
what?
physically different.
What you're talking about, Raven, has been so microscopically studied. Not hardly anybody
No.
has looked at that, and I wish they would look at that. But I think that's one of those changes. They're gonna. You know what this reminds me of? The X-Men, mutants, the
Well,
mutants, and the mutant police. Are y'all? Is everyone here familiar with the story of the X-Men?
sure.
Kinda.
Okay, Raven.
Yeah,
Let me
I've got
reiterate.
every comic. I've got every comic since number 80. So yeah.
Well, we
Okay.
have an. He's an
Okay.
expert. He knows. Okay?
Right. Well, okay. Well, Shadow.
Seems like each of us know something about something. Anyway.
Okay, let me go ahead and reiterate a kind of a nutshell version. You have humanity that has mutants, genetic mutations that give them some kind of a special
Right.
ability. They are shunned from normal Muggle society, and
Right.
they are put into concentration camps and they are separated from society or prison or even.
That's what they did in Atlantis with those kids that came out after the
Okay, well, that's
vaccination.
what
And
seems to
to
be
the animals.
right. They want
Exactly what
to
they did.
avoid that by. That seems to be what they want to avoid. Ooh, that's cool, huh?
Well, something that bears thinking about too with these youngsters. I will not say all because all's too encompassing, but a number of types of autism, the intelligence ratio is out of this world. It's very, very high. Then
Yeah.
Yeah.
even to the place where they literally can't make it work to get down far enough to talk to their peers. You know, so I've seen both ways. It's uh like I said before, I've got two kids that have autism and on the autism spectrum. Both of them are very smart. One uses it a lot. One chooses not to interact an awful lot with people. So
Hmm.
Mhm.
you got both ways. Now,
Autism
Yeah,
seems
but
this big umbrella, and there's so many different variations and levels within it. You know,
yeah,
mm-hmm.
and I want
there's
to
not one.
bring. Okay, the prevailing sci-fi thing is the weirdos, the misfits of society get pushed off to the side. I just want to say that, right? That now with us integrating them into our society, we're avoiding that, which I think is good, but we're not tracking it. We're not looking at it. Probably because we don't want to build a prejudice against mutants. See what
Oh,
I'm
I don't
saying?
know. We got so much prejudice going on that
We
one
have
more
enough.
in the
Right.
bucket
It's like a
isn't going to
trap.
make much difference.
Right. It's like a trap. We don't need another group that is
No.
different. So we're trying to. It seems like society is trying. I don't address society issues too much, right?
Right.
But it seems like society is avoiding that pitfall by making them a medical thing and not a uh, a category thing.
Well,
This is another
it's been a
category of
big
people.
struggle though because there is such a diverse opinion about how to achieve that in this country, let alone the world. You know, it. I wonder if it's even possible. At least
Yeah,
I
it's the
don't think
powers
my
that be.
generation's going to see it.
The powers that be try to use that to keep dividing and conquering, pitting peoples against other peoples if they're slightly different. They have been using that
Yeah,
tactic for thousands of years.
that's how they stay in power.
You know,
I think
that's how
there's
they
an
stay in power.
outside
Exactly.
influence. I think there's an outside influence trying to get these people integrated in society, and it's working. The
Yeah, I
people
think
with the large eyes, the people with the thick build, and autistic people. I think they're all part of some kind of mutant gene. I mean, I don't want to say, oh, these guys are weirdos. I'm one. All of us here are one of them. Okay?
Oh yeah.
All of us here are that people. So we're the ones that
and
have been
all of us are
altered.
one.
Yeah, and all of us are altered. We're different. It's
Right.
quantum. What can I say? It's
Yes,
quantum.
it's
You ended
quantum.
up here, and if you're in the chat room, you ended up here because quantum said come here. Somehow, 1,000 little things happened to bring you here, and here we all are.
Hmm.
Ah,
Yep,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
okay. I. Mm.
I think most of the people in society really are loving, decent, accepting people. You're going to have your few a-holes here and there, and your short-sighted ones and judgmental. But overall, society I think is really good,
I
fundamentally good.
almost feel like the media is searching out people that are being particularly difficult,
Mm,
whether
Yeah, I would agree.
regardless of political thing. That's not
right.
what I'm referring to. But
They're not
they
playing
search
ball.
people out that are not playing with a full deck,
Yeah,
and you know, making them look like complete and utter fools. And they may have a good point, they might not. It really just depends. But I think it's like what's happening is keep us so confused about what is happening that we can't really zero in on it.
We just
That's
need
really
to
how I
make it
see it.
irrelevant. And all of them up there in Washington, they're all cuckoo. And just make them irrelevant.
Yeah.
We could all just come together, you know.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
And
like
they would
it would
have,
mean if we all stand up, their game falls over.
yeah,
Yeah, we
just
Well, if
ignore
we're on a
Yep,
short
that.
pier and they're on the wrong side of the pier, or even if they're on the right side of the pier, one way or another, those guys are going to hit the water. You know, because there's only so long that a people, any people, put up with too much tyranny and not enough resources. It
Yeah,
does
and
lead to unhappiness.
right.
yeah,
We need new
angels.
methods. Go ahead.
Right.
Angels are life. Just that there's been integration of hybrids here on Earth for multiple generations. Yes, I agree. There's a lady
I
who
agree.
what is her name? She's done
I'm really losing her sound.
Yeah.
there's a
Okay, I
psychologist
got it.
who's from Australia who has been talking about this for quite some time and interviewed some of these hybrid children that they come straight off the ships, and they come down here and they live with families who know who they are and try to teach them, how to handle money, what you do, how you act when you walk in a restaurant, and how to order, just the things that we take for granted that are normal life, are all new to these guys. And so
Yeah.
they have these like pilot families that they live with and learn our customs and our ways and things like that. And I bet maybe your coworker sounds like he could be one of those, Nathan.
I think so. I think he's
And he just
somebody like
socially
that.
doesn't know what to say, and maybe he's afraid to say the wrong thing because of how volatile everything is right now. So he just chooses to say nothing.
Probably.
I can understand that strategy.
So my
Well,
son has a strategy.
yeah, it could be that. He won't talk to me, so I can't. I'm just observing at this point. But this is a
The only thing you
workplace,
can do with him is continue to be kind to him,
right?
Yeah.
be thoughtful with him, and see
Right,
if you
right.
can gather
I'm
some
doing that.
trust, because that's
so you
hard
have
for
a cup of
people
coffee
like
with him or
this.
something, maybe, or
He don't want that. He don't want to know me, and that's fine too. I want to. I'm going to continue to observe him and see what happens because see, this being a workplace environment, he's probably been told, "Hey, you're not here to make friends. You're here to do the job."
good job. Yeah,
Just like we're
Right.
all
probably.
told, right?
Mm-hmm.
But everything we all people who grew up here on Earth, right? We know it goes back to what we learned in high school.
Yeah,
I don't think he went there.
workplace loyalty is based on friendships, trust, and friendship.
Yeah,
You know,
and I think this is a new experience for him because he's super young. He's like 19, 20, right?
gosh,
So
yeah,
he has
so he's
been,
scared death he's gonna mess it up.
yeah.
yeah. And
So
me being semi-executive where I work and kind of one of the bosses, kind of not. It's a little. I can see it being intimidating for him, and me being not 20 something.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm
So
just now learning that. Yeah, hey everybody, we're scary. We're scary. All of us
no,
we're
we're
scary
not.
people.
We don't
Oh,
bite.
really?
Joe, I know you've worked with special needs children. Do you think you've had any star seeds in your groups? I can't hear him. Is he talking?
He's not
Who, me?
speaking.
Joe,
Joe.
No.
I can't hear you. We
I
can't
don't know
hear you.
what's going on with you, Joe. Your mic is not working at all.
We can't hear you. Shadow, you look nice. I like
Thank
your
you. I
tie.
had a really big
Lovely
show
color.
tonight. Thanks. Yeah, it's one of the few colors I actually do wear.
Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a very spiritual color. Purple's one of the best ones.
Well, there's only so much I can wear being white, you know. I'm only allowed just a small amount. But this works. It was a really special show we did, an anniversary show, and we had literally like 30 or 40 guests on at one time or another, and
Nice.
Nathan was one of them, and Justin, who's in the chat, was one of them, and a bunch of people you probably, some people who come into this show from time to time, but there were some people I was hoping that would show up and couldn't make it. It was kind of short notice, but basically we were celebrating our first year of live streaming, and because of live streaming, we've met some absolutely amazing people from all over the world in this last year, and we just wanted to, thank each and every one of them, as close as we could in person, and it was a lot of fun. It was kind of hectic, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, that first year is always a big deal. It really is. And then you start counting down the anniversaries.
Nathan's hit the coffee machine again.
Yeah, I lost my cup of coffee. So I'm gonna grab.
The cat got it.
Yeah, the cat
just give it up. The cat's got it.
There was an orange one and a kind of a brownish one. They snuck off with it when you weren't looking.
Yeah. No, you're gonna have real
You got to watch out for those gingers.
Yeah. I got a raccoon scratching at the door right now. Oh my God, you're crazy. You're crazy.
He forgot that corner attachment for the vacuum cleaner.
You came back from the hose, probably.
He wants some more coffee over there.
Yeah, that's the one right there. That
Is your
one.
microphone better now, Joe? You think? No.
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 Oh.
I'm sorry.
Damn it.
Well,
and he had to hit the road.
I hope he
He'll
comes
be back.
Okay. Right.
I see you have a screen hog there. Mm-hmm. Cat trolling.
Yes, this one's Donnie.
Sweetie pie.
He's cleaning up the whipped cream off my desk. I'm just let him. It's less I have to worry about. Somehow
it's something that's
like overflowed or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did to it, but hard telling. They're just crazy. They're crazy. What would
that's a cat for you?
Why my printer looked like a good place to throw up? I have no idea, but it just was a mess.
It was just that special gift, it keeps on giving.
Yeah, it's just special.
That's
oh yeah,
cats.
Well, basically, the cat was trying to help you print up some Jackson Pollock artwork.
Yeah.
We had a cat years ago that had the bad habit of sitting up on the office chair, which moved, back and forth. And she would snag the, excuse me. She would snag the dog coming by with her claws. And the dog took her for a ride around. Dog ran just as fast as he could around the chair, which of course moved with her. and this cat was so completely dizzy and looked drunk And then the darn thing heaved on the dog. The dog took off. Cat is still attached to this dog. It's a madhouse. Just a madhouse all the time.
Have you ever
know?
seen a cat with scotch tape on their feet? That is a funny sight to behold. I know
My
some people have done it on
daughter-in-law.
purpose, and I don't encourage that because that's torture. But
Yeah, my
I've had to.
daughter-in-law used to put boots on the darn things, and they would try to step out of those boots.
They just
And of course, they're just
Yes.
back and forth, and oh my god,
Oh,
and
they
of
get
course with animals, it's always nuts.
yeah.
But
I had a cat get his head. He stuck his whole head in a bag of popcorn, and he came back up, and it stuck there. And then he took off running, and then he's just running into things all over the place, just going berserk. And I couldn't catch him for a little while yet, and it was crazy. Oh my god, it's kind of funny, but it's not funny, but it's funny. And
yes, it is. It's darn funny.
to tie a balloon or any type of string on their tail, and they try to run from it. Oh my god, that's hysterically funny.
It
There's also another one. If you really don't like your cat, you take a not a really tight, but a large rubber band, and if you put it around their waist, it throws off all their balance, and they cannot land on their feet.
Oh really? Oh, that's kind of.
I had
Basically,
never heard that.
like if they wear like a belt, it's almost like around their right above their back hips, and you just put a not like a super tight little rubber band, but like some of the bigger ones. I saw it, and the cat was just became retarded. Just
a rubber band on an animal, and not to disparage what you're saying because that's truly hilarious, but a rubber band on a paw or a tail, and I've seen where kids will put them on an animal, and it can seriously mess them up. Seriously.
Yeah.
Cut off circulation where they'll lose a paw or the tail or what have you.
Oh no, that's
not your intention. I know it's not, but it's not a good idea ever. I've seen people put harnesses on cats, and they just go absolutely berserk, and that's not a fun thing.
No.
Are you in pain, Shadow?
No, I was just trying
visualizing.
Yeah, how do you saddle a cat? I would just.
I don't know. I never did it.
Aim well, because you're only gonna have one shot at it. I'll guarantee you that. And if you miss that shot, it's over. Forget it.
I saw some dumb bunny put a collar on a cat and try to walk it like a dog. Darn thing ran up his pant leg, and of course got to certain tender bits that he would have done so much better leave that cat alone.
Yeah.
What?
Now what?
I
right?
missed out. That's okay.
In our defense, we were left
silly cat stories.
Yeah, we were
okay,
left.
Now that you're back, I'm gonna run and try to find my mug of coffee. I'll be right back.
Coffee rounds.
I think we lost Joe because he just can't be heard. And,
right.
I don't know if he intends to come back or not. It's kind of it's kind of on late side. He may not.
Right. It is kind of late over there. Yeah. We have gone to the 2-hour mark, everybody. Obligatory. Like and subscribe. Listen in. Tell your friends. Join the chat. Thanks. Thanks for coming to the Quantum Show.
Definitely. It's a terrific show.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe, folks. That's how we keep doing it.
Yeah. And to reiterate for everybody that hasn't been here for 2 whole hours, I'm going to Florida in just under 2 weeks. I'm going to hopefully meet up with Rich Giordano. And I want to see how do I get in touch with Bigelow Aerospace. His shop is now in Florida, and he's there. He's there publicly for the Republican Party. Privately, he came from Skinwalker Ranch, and it led him here. I've been watching him. And that's what he's doing now. So now he's operating in the hot zone, and that's Atlantis. Straight up. That's Atlantis. And I want to go talk to him. Me,
Right.
Rich, and Amy.
Are you going to try to do some sort of video or a stream?
I'm going to be doing one from either the hotel room or lobby, but
Okay.
not with Bigelow. Bigelow is very business oriented, so I don't have any permissions from him, and he's one of them, right? He pre-plans scripts and doesn't answer any hardball questions. So it'll be private. However, my chest cam will be actively recording audio. Just saying, it's a possibility. Of course, he might have some of that Atlantean tech to turn it off. Who knows? It might happen. But yeah, it's 10:51 for you, Diane. It is 12:51 for me, and that's okay. I'm still going. I got my coffee.
I got my coffee. I'm good now. Yay.
Yep. Okay, Raven, your
All right.
microphone just went haywire. Let me check you out here.
And she got close to it.
Yeah. Okay, I think you should be good now.
Oh, was I too loud?
Yeah, you were blasting me. I was like, oh, what the? You're good. You're good. You're good. But, yeah, Angels, he does charge for interviews, and I ain't paying. I'm going to find him at the gas station in his Maserati car, and I'm going to go, oh, look at you. Hi there. I'm a ufologist. I'm not a ufologist, right? I'm not a ufologist, but I'm gonna talk to him about. So, tell me about the hot zone, and I will turn on full Batman in a minute, right? And all his Men in Black are gonna come out and talk to me, and I'm gonna be
and
like,
toss you. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be like, oh, I have a feeling some weird shit's gonna go down,
So,
right?
Well, you tried.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Try.
who was it you were talking about that's in Belize? Looking at the Mayan
That
temple?
is Michael Roser of Dark Hour Paranormal and Jared Murphy from Not Aliens. I've mentioned him several times here.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, maybe not Jared. I don't know Jared very well, only from the outside. But Michael Roser, I think he's Atlantis crew because he is fascinated by this stuff just like I am
Mhm.
and just like we are. And he
So
has abilities.
they are ufologists, or they're amateur archaeologists, or they're just
All of the above. All of
Okay.
the above. They have someone, I can't remember his name. Diane, what's his name that hurt his leg? Diane Boss, what's his name that hurt his leg? I can never remember the guy's name. He's there too. And he was with the Air Force, I believe, back when they were developing the stealth bombers, the first ones. Not what we know now. I'm talking like the first flying wing that we had.
Okay.
He's old school, and
So-
yeah, I don't think Diane can hear me.
Are they
Jim Goodall, Jeanette, Jim Goodall said he's
I know
with
that
them
name.
too, and there's several people there.
So are they funding themselves, or are they sponsored by a university, or
They're funding themselves.
okay?
They have funded themselves. It was an open trip. You could go, you could join in, but know that this is not a resort trip. This is, and it is. They're going through jungles, and their life is on a thread most of the time. This is not nobody.
Oh,
What
hell no.
I'm doing, I'm calling Expedition Florida, is nothing compared to Belize, right?
Yeah, they're doing it. No air conditioning, bugs, everything trying
Yeah.
to eat you. And
Yeah,
kill you.
the
And,
trees and grass trying to kill them.
no,
That's what
thank
they're
you. I'll wait for the video. I would not. No way you can
doing.
get me to do that.
There's several videos. He was on earlier today, and he was talking about the stuff that they're having to overcome, and the guy who,
Oh
yeah,
my God, mosquitoes alone. The mosquitoes are huge.
yeah,
I mean,
snakes,
oh
giant
God.
lizards.
Yeah. Oh,
They're
fuck that.
looking for
No.
all this stuff. They're looking at Mayan ruins, but I have a feeling they're gonna come across a living dinosaur. At least I hope they do.
Yeah, they very well could. A lot of that
Jim Goodall.
territory's not ever been explored.
No, it hasn't. And if it
They
has
could
been
run into
explored,
cannibals. They don't. I mean,
well, no,
seriously.
that's different, right? That's different. Same area, you're on the right track, but that's not what they're worried about. The cannibals, you said. Okay, Joe is back. Let's see if he's got
Welcome
hardware.
back, Joe.
Let's see if it works now. Hello?
Same as before. Same as before.
That's
Still
the
muffled.
microphone. I'm using the microphone off of my ham radio, and I know it works.
Well, it works, but I think it's being handled incorrectly internally on the machine.
Yeah, I think my sound card is gone.
That's
All right.
We can hear you, though.
that's
At least we
possibly
can hear
it.
you now. You
Kinda.
sound a little better. You're not as muffled.
There's not a whole lot of background noise. That's good.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys get back to it.
Oh no, you don't have to go.
We're in it. We're in it.
Yeah. Whoa.
Okay, well, all right. Technical difficulties. Hey, it wouldn't be a paranormal show without technical difficulties.
This is true. This is true. No kidding.
You imagine our blooper reel of nothing but technical difficulties.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All that
Yeah,
stuff.
really. Yeah. And then, yeah, like.
Oh, something else I told Michael Roser and them. They put a video up today. I said, watch for decorative crystal work. It's tech. It's stuff that we don't know can exist yet, but it's tech.
Yeah.
Because after I've learned how to deal with these crystals, Lynn, thanks for bringing us back on topic, right? After I learned how to deal with these crystals, oh man, it is a secret ability all of us have got. And we just have to know that it's there for real. And then these things come alive.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what it's like? I can compare it to something. Guys or anybody who gets their first rotary Dremel type tool, the world is suddenly a different place. And the first time the world is suddenly a different place. And it's like, I can fix anything. That's how I feel about the crystals. Yeah. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Because once I get my first rotary tool, I was like, oh my God, nothing is broken forever. I can do it all. And that's the way I felt. And I feel that same way about. Hold on, Diane said something. Diane said, I just heard someone talking that wasn't you guys. Okay. Mark the time, 2:13 or 2:12, and we will investigate it. I will mark the time, 2:12. Okay, check 2:12. That's 2:12 in the video, not 2:12 a.m. 2 hours.
I keep watching over your
minutes.
shoulder, Nathan. I haven't really seen anything yet tonight, but I know what Keith is talking about. I have seen stuff, and I wasn't sure what it was, and I forgot later to even mention it to you. But I was reminded of it when you said that our Keith had looked at something over your left shoulder a few times, and it's like, yeah, I have seen something.
Okay, well, it's so subtle I don't notice it, but it's apparently the camera sees all. And the anomalies show up. Everyone listening, here on this show, the anomalies show up. I am half expecting a mantis person to knock on my door at any time and say, can I be on the show? And I'll be like, here's a headset, bro.
Yeah, really. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
Jeanette
you
said it
guys
sounded
Jeanette.
like
ought
it
to
was a
you
disembodied
guys
voice.
ought to share what you all saw last last week when you went to backstage.
Which one?
Oh, it's a little
Oh,
goof.
right. Permission? Is permission given?
Oh yes, absolutely. You didn't
Okay.
say anything.
Okay. Last week backstage after the show, right?
I remember.
Everybody had taken off except it was me and Raven and Lynn, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
we went longer. Shadow, we weren't excluding you, but we just didn't know we were gonna stay on the line for that long.
No
But
worries when either my tech fails or my eyelids fail.
right.
Don't even sweat.
But what happened was me and Raven, but Lynn's camera was at a different angle. It was more
Right.
straight on, right?
Right.
And it
Right.
was more straight on and a little bit like this. It was just a tiny bit like this. Not like
Mhm.
it is now. Now it's up to the side. Here's what me and Raven both saw a big shadow jump
It
up,
wasn't
go
this.
up. Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't. It was
No, it
like
wasn't
this.
the hair because I could
No.
see her hair.
Yeah.
It went up and then it kind of just receded down.
Yeah.
And it was a full dark
It's a
shadow. I
cuddle.
thought somebody had walked in front of the camera.
No.
They just
Yeah.
had a, a, a family member pass away, a pet family member, and they're not all the way gone.
No. They tend not to go away here.
Yeah.
You know,
Same
they're
with me.
very
And
well loved, and
yeah,
you know,
and we saw it on camera. We weren't recording. Dang
No.
it. Damn it. We
yeah. If
weren't
we had been
recording.
recording, it'd have been right there. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, it'd have been
It
just
was
like that.
it
And
was
I thought, oh man, I
obvious.
was so upset with that. But then, you know, Frank and I are uh, putzing around the bedroom yesterday, doing some chores, and we heard our Chihuahua go off. So what's she barking at? And Frank goes, it can't be her. I said, I could hear her. I said, what's she barking at? It's completely spaced that she wasn't here anymore. And he looked at me and he goes, she's just raising hell with the boys like usual. You know, we heard her. Both of us heard her.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's so. I've had my experiences with the other realm with pets before, but never on this level. Never.
Yeah. Witness right here, me and Raven. We
Mm-hmm.
saw it. We saw it.
I've heard
And
people talk about the veil is thinner now.
Oh well, it's not thin here. Not right now. You know,
Just overall
at
because of where we're at, because we're like parallel with the black hole that's right there, the central sun.
right.
We have all
Well,
these photons.
we just celebrated
that
spring
is-
equinox, and we're coming into a eclipse here shortly.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
Yeah, we
you
just had the
know,
solar
maybe
one.
that has more to do with it. I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
you know, Cheryl Costa addressed that. And we are in it's a big cycle, right? I don't
Right.
mean
Yeah.
beyond our lifespan cycle. It's every few years we enter a state, and every few years after we go into a different state. But it's a lot of the Earth gets exposed to one part of the galaxy, and then as time goes on, it rotates. The solar system as a whole rotates around, and we get exposed to another part. I don't remember where
We're
she
at the
wrote
end
it,
of
but
several large cycles.
right,
And
the
like
larger cycles
like
also.
Pluto. Yeah, like Pluto's been in Capricorn for 200 and some years. Like it was
Right.
went into
That's
Capricorn
not
around
the cycle I'm talking about this
1776.
time, but it's embedded
And
in there with it. It's one of the sub cycles of that. We're going
yeah,
into
there's
Aquarius.
several of them.
Well,
Plus
and
there's
we
then the whole bit. We kind of go like this, and we're
Yeah.
at that point where we are at the exact parallel to the central
Yeah, the
sun and the
apex.
black hole that's there. So we're getting an influx of light photons. which is raising
Mhm.
it's causing the Schumann residents to. I have a cat fight going on. I don't know what
You might want
causes
to take
that.
care of that. It's
They've been
okay.
crazy. They've been like this all day. But anyway, it causes the heartbeat of Mother Earth, otherwise known as the Schumann resonance, to be higher. It's usually at
Well, and
7.8 hertz,
it
and now it's going off the
yeah,
charts.
it pays to consider too that we've had a terrific sunstorm going on
Yeah,
back and forth for the past few weeks into months, really.
true.
And
There's that.
yeah,
Magnetic north has moved. It's now
mhm.
almost down into Russia, and um, we may have a magnetic flip. Let's just hope we don't have a whole pole flip, because that would be an absolute disaster. And what was it?
That
Oh yeah,
would
we got another
be
eclipse
that.
coming
Not
up.
I don't know. That wouldn't be good, would it?
No, no, not at all. May 5th is the lunar eclipse in Scorpio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a doozy. This
And
last
is
one was
that
a
what
doozy.
this
I couldn't
eclipse
sleep
is
for
in
nothing.
Scorpio?
Pardon me?
Is this eclipse in Scorpio?
This lunar eclipse is coming up in Scorpio. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Oh boy, during a Mercury retrograde. And what's
yeah.
the what's the
Fun.
retrograde? What's the retrograde featuring?
Technical
What planet?
problems.
Technical
Well, what
problems.
planet? What
People do
planets?
stupid and erasing
Because
shit
that
off their computer they shouldn't.
yeah, there's more than just that retrograde involved in it. It's
Yeah, it's pretty
worth
intense.
looking at. It's that's kind of hard to keep up with if you're not on it all the time, and I'm not. I there's very little can go wrong with you if you're retired and there's not a lot of influx of things going on. So I don't worry about it.
Lucky you.
You know, pardon me?
I said, lucky
Well,
you.
I don't know if it's lucky or I just don't give a damn anymore. You know, I think that might be part of it.
Cheers.
There are some things I can't avoid, and that's all there is to it. I think if we let that stuff rule too much of what we're doing, we can get in some serious trouble.
Yeah.
It borders on obsession if you go too far with it. It's sort of like the individual who calls you 3 or 4 times a week for a tarot reading, you know, and simply cannot make their own decisions. At that point, the reader has to decide, okay, am I truly helping this person or am I enabling them?
Enabling, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a serious business. You know, I've told people, listen, you are way too involved in this. You really need to realize that you have options. There's not a one shot go with astrology. There's a lot of different choices. But with choices come responsibilities, come consequences. You know,
Yeah.
and those are things that most people don't want to deal with consequences.
True.
Hell, I don't want to. But you know, you can't get away from it. No.
No.
You have two choices, maybe A and B. Both are bad choices, but you get to choose which one. You know, that's not going to work out.
And even not making a decision is a choice.
Making a decision. Not making a decision is making a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't get away from it a lot of times. And you know, I think I'd go with I think what the movie was called was Games. Frank, you know these things. The movie Games. It was that the one where the only way to win is don't play. War games. Yeah, War Games. That's it. The only way to win is don't play. You know.
Oh, you know what? Justin is in the chat saying, I was joking because he said, are you saying we're in the age of Aquarius? I'm like, yeah.
We are.
And he says, he's
we're
joking
we're
because
we're
of the
just going
song lyric, and
into
I'm
it.
like, that's where they got it from.
Yeah.
That's where the
Mhm.
song lyric come from.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
It
We're not
wasn't.
quite in it yet.
Yeah,
I
we're
think it's
getting
another
there.
few, but these are borders that begin to dissolve when we go in from one age to another. And it would be from the
Liminal times.
yes,
Last show,
yes,
liminal times.
yes.
Liminal times, right?
When
Yeah.
you run from one age into another, you're going to have serious conflict. You're going to have diversity, and people at each other's throats. What do we
You
got
got
right
that?
now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got exactly that.
we're on the cusp of it, and we're getting ready to move into a whole different way of doing things. Now, whether that's good or bad depends entirely on humanity.
Yeah, we
It
have to make
really
it.
does.
We got to make it work. And I'm with R. Keith. He says if we work together, we can be fine, and that's
Oh
true.
yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
the subtitle of last week's show was "What have you done to help? What have you done nice to someone this week?" I do nice stuff. I try to do nice stuff all the time to let people
Random
know
act
that
of
they got.
kindness every day.
Yeah, they try to
Yeah.
let them know that they got somebody in
Right.
their corner that's
Yeah.
rooting for them to do
Hmm.
the
You
right
were
thing
my
and
random act of.
do good.
I was your random act of. No, you were my random act of kindness last night.
Yeah.
Get the
But
hard
but we
drive.
are back to we're kind of back to that with what Keith puts out in that the world is our oyster. The only thing holding us back is us.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah,
really
and
is.
people and man, the more I don't know what else to call it, the more I wake up, the more I'm like, no one has to not know this. Everyone can know this
Yeah.
Right.
because I'm doing. I'm. Oh, I said it before. Me and Keith are kind of neck and neck. Just I do the spiritual. He does the ufology, or not ufology, but
You
off-world people.
yeah.
And we do like I a while ago, recently, I fell in the tub. That would
Yeah.
debilitate someone that wasn't me in a big way because y'all, when I say I fell in the tub, I don't mean I just bumped myself, right? I saw my ribcage flex
Boom.
like
Yeah.
a bean bag, all right? And
That
it
was a
hurt.
bad one.
Yeah. But look, I'm fine. No more bean bag, right?
Good.
3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Normally, that would put somebody on disability.
It
Yeah.
could.
Seriously.
It could.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have anything except, I don't have anything. I mean, it was like,
You're
all
not
right, I'm
still
going to,
sore.
a tiny little bit, but
Just skosh, huh?
just a little bit, just enough to let me know it's there. Okay, now you're
Now
going to think
here's the
I'm,
big question. Did you do what I told you to do?
I
You're
didn't.
gonna need to learn the mind. That's all there
This,
is to it.
here was, now this
I'm
is a
gonna talk to your
physical,
mother. That's all there is to it.
physical demonstration of what happened. Now, this is one of my Star Wars pillows. Okay, don't
Mhm.
judge, but this is what happened when I fell in the tub.
You keep from.
Here we're okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
ow.
my body. I saw it do that, and it was one of those little
Oh,
trauma buttons that you're like,
oh.
you don't want to look at it. My body did that right here. It went
Oh.
all the way in, and my
You're
chest went,
lucky.
and
It sprang back. You're
yeah,
lucky. Because it didn't have to. It could have broke every rib in that side, just
yeah.
like
I
dominoes.
felt like my sternum took the sternum connection took the hit, honestly.
Hmm. It
But
probably did, because something will hit, like from one place to the other. Let's see if I can get this. Boom, like that.
yeah,
The injury's here
yeah,
on
that's
this
because
side.
I hit here, but here doesn't hurt. In here hurts. That's where the connections are.
Hmm.
I hit here, but it stayed hurting. It's still hurting a little bit right here, but I hit here. I fell backwards. And
Did you guys
but
hear that?
look, huh?
Yeah, I heard it.
That's Shadow.
Oh,
Okay.
Justin.
Hey, Justin, the Force is with you. Let me show you.
Yeah, judging
Here we
Justin.
go.
Make you behave.
Here we go.
sounded
What do I
like
got on my
different-
desk?
Somebody escaped from
I
a
got
Nathan
him
Hall.
on my desk right now. Who else do I got on my desk? I got.
That
There you
was
go.
a ambulance going past Nathan's house, I think.
Yeah,
Or it might have been
avoiding
Shadow's,
me,
sure.
not me.
Well,
That
there's
was
like a-
that was on
that
Shadow's end.
That was me. That was me.
growling
Okay.
like sound there prior to the sirens.
That's what
I
that
was.
was.
That's what I was talking about. But okay. Anyway.
But yeah, that's what happened, and I'm better. 3 weeks better. I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be 3 days. I overestimated that. It was 3 weeks, and
Justin, we know.
Oh, I got something for show and tell. I got this week.
Okay.
My magic.
Oh
wand.
yeah.
Cool.
Oh, you got a
This is pretty
magic
cool, though.
wand.
Check this out.
Did you get those?
She's been to the
Oh, yeah,
Hogwarts gift
wand.
store.
I went to the... Yeah, check this
Wands?
out. All right. Okay.
Raven's showing hers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a-
You
yeah.
gotta have one
I
of those.
got something like that. Hold on a second.
I love it. That's
It's really cool.
terrific.
I saw this in a magazine. I thought, I just got to have this. I just got to have this. So it's just some kind of a made out of some kind of resin. It's made to look like a wood handle. But I thought this would be really groovy with some quartz glued on it and stuff, you know. And I just love this.
You could. That Dremel that Nathan was talking about,
Mm-hmm.
a little Dremel, and some of the bedazzle sparkles.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be.
I've done that with wands, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm not a big lightsaber guy, but I've got a couple.
He's got one.
Oh, check it
I've
out.
got a couple.
Cool. Does it make
It
a sound
giggles at him.
Cool.
Those
I've
are
got
fun.
a couple.
Yeah.
I've got the. Oh yeah,
I love it. I love
Justin.
this. I was outside at night last night playing around with this. This was fun. It was really
Oh,
fun.
here we go.
It's really pretty bright too.
I'm
Outside.
surprised your cats aren't trying to get to it.
No, thank God. I don't think they've noticed it really. Oh, that's neat.
It doesn't glow very brightly, but that's okay. This is
That's
not a
fun.
Saber Forge. This is Hasbro. It's not the only one I have. Sorry, y'all.
So, no, that's cool. That was cool. All
This
right,
was
what do you
mine.
got? Oh, nice.
There it is.
Except it.
It turns the lights out.
No,
Okay.
it just grows. It just grows.
Oh, okay.
It makes bad guys go away.
Right.
That works.
I used to have one of those.
I want to get one.
I don't know.
I'm all for making the bad guys go away.
Is yours spring loaded?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Shake it like and it would extend out.
I've got another one that's made out of springs. It's smaller and it's flexible, and it's a little bit more fun because, well, but they just make bad guys. Well, they don't really go away; they just go down.
Go down.
Oh, the
Go boom.
way. You know, I'm sort of like you, Shadow. I just send John after him these days. He'll talk him to death. Make him listen.
Y'all, John is scary. He could go full Batman like in a minute. Okay.
He can.
It's just,
Yeah.
I am the knight.
Yeah, he's I wouldn't.
Thanks to that.
He's not a hair trigger temper anymore. I've managed to train that out of him. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I bet against him in the crowd anytime. I don't think I came out right. I
No,
would bet against a crowd against him anytime.
right, right.
You know.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh,
wait, what?
damn, Cindy. Seriously?
I
Okay, you
don't
too,
see it.
Diane.
Mine is smaller and vibrates.
Oh, let's show that one. Yeah.
I just absolutely fell into that.
Phrasing? Phrasing? Phrasing anybody?
Oh
Oh my God. That's
I
funny.
did have something interesting happen this week. It was kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
We went to a thrift store, and
I
I
wouldn't.
found, pardon,
No, nope. I'm noping out. I'm noping out.
no thrift stores.
Sorry, my mind just went somewhere really
I have
dark.
left Cindy back where she's at. Okay, I'm moving on. I no, we're not doing this anymore. No. Anyway, I found a older Kuan Yin statue.
Oh, cool.
Nathan knows who I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes, yes, I remember you
Yeah.
told me.
The Buddha Vista.
Mm-hmm.
And no, not this. I didn't. As I just got this Wednesday. So anyhow, she's pristine. Is all in white porcelain, not china, porcelain.
Justin, I swear to God.
Well,
Yeah,
it's his
chat
problem.
room. That's the chat
Yes,
room.
he's gonna go crazy in there. Well, we tried anyway.
What?
You know.
There's always got to be somebody.
Justin just giving me a hard time. I didn't let him stay on my show long enough, I guess.
Well, he's got the right implements for it. Anyway, sorry, I got a bad sense of humor. Really bad.
Justin, welcome to the club.
So anyway, anyhow, this beautiful statue is perfect in every way. Most of the time when they hit a thrift store, they are broken in places, and
Right.
hands are missing or nose or something, you know. And I was ready to go, and I told Frank, I said, I'm not ready. No, I have to go over here. What are you seeing? I said, I don't know. It's saying come here. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I found this thing in this corner. It's buried. It's buried in the back row. I shouldn't have been able to see it at all. And I said, I believe that belongs to me. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Brought it home with me, and that has been the nicest thing. I studied Buddhism for quite a while. I'm a bad Buddhist. I like meat, and you know, so anyway, but I do adhere to a lot of the virtues of it, and this beautiful thing, you never see them with a lotus flower. You always see them with the little dog or something like that, you know. And there she is, just holding the lotus flower, like, here I am. Aren't you going to take me home? You know? So that was kind of fun. And she looks
Well, that's
like,
awesome.
I don't think I.
The story is
Can you
remarkable.
can you get me the Kuan Yin that I just bought? This is sort of thing that
Yeah, I'd
you'd
love to
see
see
in
it.
a specialty shop that should have cost $100 because that's what they cost.
Yeah.
My Kuan Yin, yeah, he's gonna get it. I'll show it to you. But
Do you guys know the story of Kuan Yin?
yes, I do.
I was asking the guys if they did.
Raven, go ahead. We could all
Yeah,
use a
Yeah,
refresher.
go ahead.
Kuan Yin,
I think you're a better storyteller
she's
than I
the.
am.
Well, feel free to interject if I get something wrong here, but Kuan Yin is the goddess of compassion, and
Yes.
she had quite a long journey, quite a difficult journey to get to that point. And her village was raided when she was a young girl, like 5 years old. She was tortured. She was raped.
She
She
doesn't want to be
had her whole
photographed.
family murdered in front of her, and basically everyone in her village. And she was allowed to live,
Not doing it.
and she wandered, and somebody took her
See if I
in.
can
Huh?
perhaps. Go ahead.
Oh, you took her in, kind of was like a
Nope.
foster family to her,
She's
but
shy.
she had to live with this,
Okay.
the memories, the trauma of seeing her family murdered, and just the torture and rape she had to endure. And
No.
she got to a point where she was enraged, was facing that rage, and she had
No.
I'm not sure who she called to, whoever up there, and her divine male counterpart was allowed to come down and help her through that shadow work, and then she was able to embody the forgiveness to those people that did that to her, and then became the goddess of compassion. That's kind of the condensed version. Is that pretty accurate, Lynn?
Yeah, that's pretty much the same one. She's also considered to be the embodiment of the moon. She's a moon goddess. And of course, she is chased by the sun around the earth to. He loves her dearly, but he can only see her at night. And there is no night where there is sun. So it's sort of a unrequited love.
Yes, I forgot about that part of it.
Someone has a question here. It glows white, whatever you're trying to show, Lynn. Yeah, I'm sorry it did. It's sort of a shy little thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
It
it's
just
not wanting to
didn't
be.
want to be photographed. That does happen. And of course, she's a real religious icon. She's venerated, and that may be why too. We don't go
No.
spirituality on it, but more likely my camera just couldn't pick up that much white.
Well, that's it seems to be a lighting issue. If
Yeah.
we're talking tech, because when you had her back here, but I saw you like can't hold her like this.
Yeah.
It focused in when you were way back here, but
Yeah.
it didn't
But
work too well. That's okay.
Sometimes these objects have an
It's
energy of their own, and they
sometimes
don't
they do.
photograph well, and they don't show up well on camera.
I've had that
Yeah.
happen before. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to nearly shut the lights completely off here in order to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And why that is, I don't know, but it apparently is a problem. A lot of it, our screen here is very white, and that shines back light to us, so it kind of washes the skin out a little bit and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So,
all kinds of anomalies with lighting and these
But
funny little cameras we use.
I've gone into churches where I've tried to photograph certain icons, and say like the Catholic Church or something like that, and can do.
Yeah, I have to.
Right.
The camera will not pick it up.
Yeah.
Or you'll think you got a picture, and you go back to it, and it's all white light, and it's not even a question of camera flash. There might not be one. So I think a lot of that is just where they have an energy of their own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. There's this really cool place in Indiana. It's called Rome, Indiana. It's a very small little town, and there's this chapel there, the Catholic chapel that is very haunted, and it has these light anomalies that happen in the field, similar to what was happening in Medjugorje, where they were talking about how the sun would whatever it had something to do with the sun, and there were like lights and orbs that came down,
Right.
and like turned everybody's rosary crucifixes to gold and did all kinds of stuff like that. Well, they have these light anomalies that will appear in this field, and we my friend and I went into the church and to have a rosary service, and I was taking pictures in there, and there were all these orbs, and the orbs had like faces in them. They weren't just regular orbs. You could see, like a smiley face or a grumpy face or an eyes. I mean, there were. I've seen anything like that before. Orbs.
Even as human beings, we're always searching for faces.
Yeah, we have that pattern recognition thing the brain does.
Pareidolia.
In Santa Fe, as you go towards the city, of course, there's the. Okay, I probably am not saying this right because I have an abysmal Spanish accent, but the Sangria Mountains.
That's right.
Blood of Sangria de Cristo, blood of Christ. And at dusk, the mountains glow golden, just like gold was shining off of them. And I had my doubts about that, right? So we went through Santa Fe one day and on an errand, and by Georgie, there it was. The lights of the city were sparkling, just unreal. And it's the atmosphere. I'm fairly sure of that. But a lot of the El Dorado gold myths from the conquistadors, I think, were centered around the fact that that adobe would turn gold. And they thought they were looking at a golden city. And of course, the carnage that caused. But I've seen a lot of that. The mountains here in this state, in this town, at dusk turn brilliant magenta, and it's gorgeous. Now Franklin's don't really seem to do much of anything that I've seen, but if you look out on the horizon, they'll turn pink out there.
People looked at the Franklins and in El Paso, right? They looked at them from El Paso and not too far away. And they would take daytime pictures, compare them with nighttime pictures, and there are lights that have no place. It's range.
Should not be there.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
And it's the same camera in the same position at different times.
Right.
It's not I drove by one day and then I was on a different street the next. No, that's a way changing angle. This is the same camera right here that stayed stationary all day and all night. And they just went click, click.
Well, we've driven through the Franklins, and of course, I'm so doggone psychic. And I looked up at the top of the mountain, and I said, "Oh, look, they're doing a reenactment of some of the Indian war parties." And Frank has stopped the car, looked. He goes, "You are no, they're not. You're not seeing them. Nope, nope, nope." I laugh at him, and he says, "And I'm not seeing them either."
There's those. Have you heard of the Brown Mountain Lights? In
yes,
it's either Tennessee or North Carolina, somewhere around in
North
there.
Carolina.
North Carolina.
Brown Mountain.
They still haven't figured the source of those. That is so bizarre. It
You
almost
know
looks like
what?
a
That goes
Yeah.
to the Hellier guys. They investigated Brown Mountain, and they found a cave that had been intentionally collapsed back in the 70s. The rumor was there was underground bases there, and they attacked the bases, and they intentionally collapsed the tunnels. I think they
ooh.
missed something. They went there and they showed it on the Hellier TV show. They showed where it was not a natural cave in. It was like a controlled demolition looking, like there were sheets of
Yeah.
rock put in place to
Oh,
block the cave. Brown
okay.
Mountain. I'm so glad you brought that up. And
Yeah.
that is
Well,
still
the
is still
Appalachians are so haunted themselves.
Yes.
They are.
Yes. They
They
are.
it's
They are.
I can
they
vouch
if
for that.
they say in those mountains, if somebody calls your name, do not answer. You know.
Yeah, here's the
Yeah.
rule. If you hear someone call your name, they didn't. If you hear somebody whistle, you didn't hear it. If you see something in the woods, no, you didn't. That's
Hmm.
that's it. That's the way it goes around
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Because the stuff out there wants to eat you and
Well,
or something.
was brought up in Ohio, uh, up in Canton, but we explored a lot of areas in Ohio, and the Appalachians are part of it. I've camped in the Mohegan Valley, in some of the in the forest, done some canoeing down the Monongahela. That try saying that 10 times fast.
Right.
And see, I can say stuff like that. I got no trouble with it. But if I come down here and try to say anything, I'm a complete idiot. But the
What's the deal with the Appalachians?
pardon me.
Why are they so haunted? Why are the Appalachians so haunted?
Oh,
Anybody know?
there's a slew of stories. I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of them.
I mean, what do we got?
Everything from
We got
cannibals
Bigfoot.
to
Yeah.
Bigfoot to
To Wild Man, Dog
yeah,
Man.
wild men.
Uh I just had it. I was just thinking about it. The Wendigo. We got
The
all that
Wendigo.
stuff.
Of course,
You got
the
disappearances
Wendigo
there
is
too, don't
Canadian
you?
who made its way down,
The
and there's nothing stops the Wendigo. Nothing.
Mm-mm.
So it's one of those legends that I really rather think that a Wendigo is more likely a Wolverine with a serious grudge, because Wolverines don't stop.
mm-hmm.
Those guys will, they get one whiff of you, they'll track you for 50 miles.
Yep.
If
Oh,
something,
I got
if
a I
they've
got
got
an
done
observation
to
about a
them.
Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
When Skinwalker Ranch TV show, one of the earlier episodes, they said something attacked the horses, and something did. Now here's what it was, right? Okay. The horses were in a corral, and they caught a brief glimpse by one camera. Now, this is Skinwalker Ranch. They should have
Yeah.
all the cameras, but they had one camera kind of askance at this corral. And they saw something reach up from the ground and scrape a horse. And the horse had a giant gash in him. And
Mhm.
they were like, was it an alien? And I'm like, no. I looked
It
up the
reached up
biology.
from the ground and scratched the horse.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was on the show,
Those
right? Now I
those
looked at the
things can
biology.
reach. Those
I
things
missed
can
that.
reach up and grab.
Yeah. And
They've got a 2 foot reach.
yeah,
They're
I was
huge.
thinking what animals would do that, right? Generally, and I put my hillbilly skills to work for me, right? My farm boy skills. And I was like,
Okay.
okay, what animals do that? What animals are in there? And I looked up the biology
Cats.
of
Cats
it
will
was a
do it.
wolverine. They
Yeah.
have been migrating south from Canada for 40 years. And they're
That sounds
in
right.
New Mexico, Utah area now.
Mhm.
They're not very common, but they're there.
So they
And
burrow underground, and they
no,
wait
no,
for
no,
something
no,
to
no,
come
no,
along.
no, no. The camera didn't catch the ground. The camera caught like
You
two and a
caught
half
him
foot or
jumping.
3 feet above the ground,
You
where
caught
the
him
horse.
jumping for him.
Right. This now a badger will attack something bigger than it, but it
Yeah.
stays on the ground. Right. It
Yeah,
stays
sure.
on the ground,
They're short.
Yeah,
but it stays
badgers
on the
are little
ground.
bad boys too.
Yeah, but they don't jump. They don't attack up. Wolverines attack up. Wolverines
Well,
will go up against a
they'll
black
come
bear.
from above too. They're
I
not
don't
Yeah, they'll
remember that
wherever
part of
they
the
are, they'll
Skinwalker
just
Ranch,
appear.
but
But they will reach up and they will rip down.
Mhm.
And that's what happened to that horse. And I'm pretty
okay.
sure they already knew that, but I debunked it over on Rich's show because he brought it up. And I was like, yeah, let me think about that. And it took me like 20 minutes of his show. Oh, we lost Shadow.
Oh.
Okay. Well, it took
The
me 20 minutes to look up the biology and the local stuff in the area. It came from upstate, or not upstate, but it came from way north and has been migrating down for 40 years. And they're in the desert now. Those
Mhm.
guys will attack a horse, they will reach up and scratch down.
I would reckon that some of the chupacabra legends have uh they've had some attacks here recently.
mm-hmm.
Not particularly put out in the regular media. It's really sort of a local thing. But I think, and of course, the locals just say, "Oh, chupacabra," but I wonder if it's not a wolverine. I thought so at the
or
time.
or hybrid of thereof. I always kind of would joke about that and say it was one one of the aliens let their animal out to go to the bathroom and they never came back. You know, it's just a runaway alien pet.
Well, that wouldn't be ridiculous at all out here.
No.
The desert can be lived in, obviously. The Apache did it for a long time, so the Comanche. And, some of the rest of them, I can't even think of them all right now, but Navajo, Pueblo, all of those guys made their living down here. And, but I'll tell you what, it's not for sissies. If you're coming
Mm-mm.
down here just to hang, this is a very wild land. And
Very. I live there.
yeah, well, you lived in El Paso. I live out in Cruces, which is about 1/10 of the size
Yeah.
of
And
El Paso.
it's a world of difference. Let me
Yes,
tell y'all. It's a
no, it's
world of difference.
Mm-hmm.
people in Las Cruces, for the most part. I won't say all of them by long shot, but generally do pretty well with each other. You know, regardless race, color, creed, social background, the rest of it, they do pretty good. But there's been an awful influx of crime from the south of the border.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not talking about just the migrant situation. There's a lot of trafficking going on of a number of things. I won't go into it too far because, well, I like breathing.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but it's not a secret by any means. But they come up through the desert, these people, some of them with a day's worth of water,
Mm-hmm.
and they're finding bodies all over the place because they
Yeah.
just simply cannot make it in the desert. And our government makes it impossible for anybody to help them because then you're aiding and abetting a some sort of crime. I don't know. It's
Criminal activity.
yeah, criminal activity because these coyotes, and that's what they're called here, are bringing are telling people X amount of dollars to get into this country. They're telling them lies about the situation, and they're a lot. It's a very difficult thing for them, and for of course people who live here.
Yep. Yep.
And I don't think
And
there's a good answer for any of it. There
no,
really isn't.
no. It seems like the underlying ethics are just wrong, and because it seems every
What ethics? Which ones are we talking about?
we're talking about the only me ethic, the do me, I do you ethic, the
Yeah,
what
and
can
that's
you
all
do
there
for
is.
me ethic,
Yeah.
and the underlying ethics and motivations are wrong, and that is keeping everybody dying in the desert, rotting in prison, etc.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
we can fix those ethics, it would start because we all right,
Well,
What
we're
did I
at the
miss, guys?
beginning of a new age. We can
yeah,
fix it. This is the
this is
time.
okay. Yeah, Shadow, you came back at the right time. I have just, I'm not even going to go there. I will spin all the way up and out and get us like shut off. I'm gonna, okay.
Hey, Rockstar. So
Oh,
what did I
let
miss?
me. Oh, we were talking about the Southwest, and
Some of the problems we're having,
yeah,
especially those along the borders, are we're basically being left on to our own devices. You know.
We went from Brown Mountain Lights to chupacabras to now border problems. So we're
Yeah.
just going all over the place.
Well, I really do think, and I agree with you, that it's very likely
Take care,
a
Rebecca.
Wolverine, and I think though that Chupacabra is getting the rep for it because well,
Well,
Chupacabra is
do
something
Wolverines just
of a
drain the?
ghost here.
I don't know that much about Wolverines. Do they drain the blood and leave the meat?
If
Because
they
that's what a
do that,
chupacabra
it's
does.
usually for some. Wolverines are incredibly vengeful. I mean,
hmm
incredibly.
Are they like after the blood and leave the meat? Because
You
that's
know,
what's so
the
distinctive
the
between a
chupacabra
chupacabra.
legend is that way, but the Wolverine's
Wolverines
probably
are.
hunting for food and only taking just what it needs,
Yeah. So
yeah,
leaving the rest are vultures and scavengers.
right. They don't do just the blood. They do.
No, they
They
do all
so
that.
that's the signature of the chupacabra. There's like
yeah,
2 puncture wounds around the neck
Yeah,
yeah.
very
area,
Well,
and the
long.
animals drain the
they're
blood, and
starting
then
to
Those,
think
those,
that
the meat.
they're starting to think that's something else because there somebody called it on Amy's show. Amy had somebody
Hmm.
on the Quantum Gravity show, which awesome show, Amy. I know you're out there and gonna hear this later, but she was talking about there was a guy who was talking about Linda Moulton Howe's
Hmm.
findings on, and it included the animals with puncture wounds and no blood, and
Hmm.
it seems like they were caught up in a plasma event because they were flash cooked and all the moisture was sucked out of their bodies and
Oh wow.
soft tissue
Oh
was
my.
removed, and that is a plasma event, and it fits. I'm leaving so much out. It was so deep of a discussion, but it was so good and it made scientific sense if you go
Yeah.
with there are ships coming down because
Well,
that
there doesn't have to be one incident here and be the same thing every time. It can be something different,
yeah,
you
I
know.
mean, oh, here we go right back to we're in a wildlife reserve. We're the dangerous animals. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not one anomaly. There's several anomalies, lots and lots of them.
Explain
And
to me what a plasma event is. I'm not
okay,
familiar.
it was using plasma is kind of like fire. However, when you electrify air, if when you do you know what a Jacob's ladder experiment is?
Vaguely.
Okay, you got
where they take
the
them
two
up,
antennas.
two antennas, and they arc back and forth
Yeah.
Right.
to
Yeah.
Jacob's ladder.
That's a Jacob's ladder. Well, what you're
Okay.
seeing in between there is the air becoming ionized into plasma, right? That arc that you see
Yeah.
traveling
Okay.
up, that's plasma. And
Okay.
well, it's basically electrical fire, right?
Gotcha.
If
Okay.
you think of it like that. And it's very hot and very fast. Hotter than normal,
Hotter than the sun. As
hotter
hot
than
as the
that,
sun.
right?
Yeah.
It is the sun hot. It's hotter than this, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
You put your hand inside of a Jacob's ladder flame,
You
you
lose
feel
it.
it immediately, and your hand is numb for an hour.
Oh
Okay,
wow.
you
If
this,
it's a big one, you'll lose a hand.
yeah, this I can do that, and I felt it, but it's not that hot
Right.
moving
Right.
across like that. But that is the kind of thing. That is a plasma event. He was very vague because you have to go with ufology and what do they call it? They've been using it as a buzzword over on third phase, meta propulsion, where they use electrical currents instead of chemical. We
What's it
use
called
chemical
again?
rockets, huh?
Meta. What was that called again?
Meta
Met,
propulsion.
meta propulsion. Okay, that's a new one for me. Okay.
Watch third phase of Moon.
Okay.
Whether you like them or hate them, they're onto something. They're a very good mouthpiece for a lot of the community,
Okay.
but they're not scientists. Okay, they they present stuff. They
Mm-hmm.
don't create stuff. I'm more or less on team third phase, right? But yeah, Samo's saying meta propulsion. I'll just put that up there.
I
Um,
see that. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Emma.
third phase,
Right.
third phase
Yeah,
covers it, right?
I used to subscribe to them. I knew who they are, and I only didn't subscribe because my computer crashed, and then I was just having to go from memory. They weren't able to save anything on it, and I just kind of would go
Right.
from memory and who I had subscribed to. But yeah,
Get the hard drive.
they
Get the hard drive.
yeah,
Get the
I
hard
am.
drive.
I am.
Well, like with what I was saying about different events, our friends out yonder know how we investigate and research things. We look for continuity, we look for repeatable occurrences because repeatable means not coincidence. So, I think it's going to be very hard to get a repeatable incident. Now,
Yeah.
Chupacabra is a very old legend here, and I don't begin to know it all. By a long shot, I know a few things that I've been told, but the Wolverine thing, I didn't realize they had migrated down this far. I don't think
Yep.
they're down in southern New Mexico yet. They may have stayed
No,
up in
there.
the
He
woodlands.
is in
The Gila?
Skinwalker Ranch. Is more northern,
it's in
but still
northeast
southwestern.
corner of Utah.
Right.
Right. It's
Oh, it's
that's
Four
where.
Corners area.
Right. That's where
Okay.
Skinwalker Ranch is, and that's where. And I looked it up, and just like Tennessee has armadillos, they came
Right.
from Texas. They've been migrating for 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
now they live here. I mean, we see them all the time. I got one that lives right
Well,
out here in the churchyard.
it's
Oh yeah.
not all that uncommon for human beings to pick these critters up and take them. Not
Yeah.
at
They're groovy
all.
little things, aren't they?
Yeah, he's
They are,
cool. I mean, he
but
Yeah.
best to leave them alone.
They're
They're
pretty cool though. Very little things. I remember seeing them, and
Some of them carry really bad diseases, but not
Yeah.
this guy. Not this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Leprosy. They carry
Yeah,
leprosy,
that's a biggie.
and this guy does not. There's I don't know how to look at them. Bands. They have bands on their armor, and I don't know. So I'm just like, I don't know. You just go ahead and dig in the churchyard, and I'll just drive past. See you later. I've gotten pictures of him, and he's not
Yeah, if
huge.
he's not bothering anybody, leave him alone.
yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
fine.
All he's doing is eating rodents and bugs.
Yeah, and that's
You know.
cool by me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good job. It's good work if you get it. So
Yeah.
So
but he's
Skinwalker Ranch. Have you been watching this, Lynn Ann? Do you know what? Have you been keeping up with Skinwalker Ranch?
I have a documentary I've been meaning to sit down and watch, but I've been so doggone diverted this last few weeks I haven't had a chance to. I know
Mhm.
very little about it. I know it exists. I know that there's a lot of things happening there that are not usual.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Skinwalkers are essentially were people. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
they're changeling. They're able to assume different persona, different animal types.
Total
So
shapeshifters.
so the legend goes. Okay, we'll put it
Yeah.
that
Right.
way. Whether that does or not, I couldn't tell you that. I don't know.
Okay, Skinwalker Ranch is kind of improperly named. The first sightings were not of a skinwalker. It was of a dog man. Every
Hmm.
sighting, every description was a werewolf, like in American Werewolf in London, right?
Yeah.
That
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. That was what was seen. And there was uh, the local natives call it Skinwalker Ranch.
Hmm.
And the gringos just picked it up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
They call it that because the locals call it that. And there is a lot of anomalous behavior. And
So
okay,
between the
You
Ute
know,
Indians, because their
there's
reservation butts up to that property
right.
line,
And they actually now
and
I saw pictures of this. They put up a fence. You know, fences make good neighbors. However, this is more mystical in nature. What they did was they put poles in the ground, not fence poles, not fence holding poles. They put poles in the ground, and they put animal bladders draped over the poles to keep them away from their stuff, to keep them on that
oh
side. And
oh,
that
yeah,
some of
right
the old
there,
magics, huh?
right,
yeah.
Okay.
right, big time.
The Navajos are supposedly the ones that cursed the land that caused the Skinwalker to be there in the first place,
Right, and
and
it's the
it was
Ute, I believe, that
the
keep those
Utes that were
wards up.
abusing the Navajos, and they enslaved some of them, and they
Right.
treated them terribly. And so the Navajos then cursed the land, and that's how the Skinwalker came to be there.
Yeah.
He's
You
there's
know,
Well,
on the same trend, and I say that because this is going to sound like it doesn't belong in this story, but it does. In the medieval Europe, a lot of the Nordics and Viking and that sort of folk would spread Woden all over their bodies and go absolutely berserk in battle. Now
berserkers.
you have the American desert Southwest that is loaded for bear with loco weed, peyote, uh, cannabis. That's
hmm
a one that grows here very freely.
mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Oh yeah, mushrooms. And the old shamans used those things, you know.
Mhm.
And when these guys went to war, they did very much the same thing. They took drugs, got themselves worked up into a frenzy, and it wasn't pretty. you
Mm.
know,
Yeah,
you
there's something here that's
yeah.
similar to that in Tennessee. It's called they now this has got some story to it. Fort Blunt. It is not a fort. It is an area that has been sectioned off back in like the 1930s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then before that, there was a big massacre there. And as the legend goes, the local Indians who were put down there, they cursed the land. There was a fort. It was a military fort, but now nobody can barely stand to drive through there.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go investigate. I got a friend with a Tesla car, and he's got the fancy in a Tesla. You got the fancy dashboard with the people indicator.
So
Oh,
you
yeah.
kind of want to ruin this
Oh,
guy's car
cool.
for him?
Cool.
Hey, he's got a
Yeah.
warranty. He's got a nice warranty.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I want him to. I want. It's right. It's less than an hour from here, right? So I want to go drive over there, park, daytime, not nighttime. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
We're still Appalachia here, right?
Yeah.
No nighttime. Go up there in the daytime with his car, me with all my equipment, and go investigate and just sit in the car and wait for anomalies to pop up on his people finder of his fancy Tesla car and pray that they don't explode the batteries with us in it.
Oh,
That's what I
yeah.
was thinking. Because
Yeah.
these things can affect, depending on their strength, of course, but they can affect
Oh
electrical
boy.
things big time.
Yeah, the
And I
people who
don't
live out
think
that way.
Mr. Tesla, I don't think Mr. Musk would have that kind of foresight somehow.
Mm-mm. No,
So
no. The people
I
that
just
go,
don't think so.
the people that live out there hate going through there. They avoid that area.
Oh yeah,
And
I
the
can see
people
where
who
they
do
would.
go out there, my mom and her former friend, we used to live in Smith County, right?
Hmm.
That's about an hour away from here. And not a nice place. It's right next door to Fort Blunt.
Yeah.
And they drove over there. My mom saw a critter in the tree. And it was a cat in the tree, right? So now it's not a big area, but it's a very well known. They were driving through from one to another, just happened to go through that part. And my mom saw a cat in a tree and says, I'm going to get that cat out of the tree. Please stop the car, stop the car. Well, she did not get the cat. The cat disappeared, right? And
Hmm.
the person wouldn't get out of the car. The driver who knows the area would not get out of the car. And she wouldn't talk about it. So
Just get
that's
back in the
still a big.
car, sit down, shut up, and hold
Right.
on.
The cat vanished. The cat was gone. It was a cat, like a kitten, meowing in a tree, like stuck in a tree. That's my mom's
It
hot
wasn't.
button. There was no
Yep.
cat. It was gone by
You
the
know,
time she got out of the car. She got out of the car and heard it. I think she said she heard it one or two more times as she was walking and got maybe 30, 40 feet from the car, gone. Right? No other activity in the area.
Mhm.
Dead quiet. It's like,
oh
oh
boy.
boy, time to go. And the driver was like,
One
you're
of the
taking your
worst
life in
things
your
that
hands.
if you're out in the woods and everything
Yeah.
stops,
And everything
hide.
stops. Yeah.
Hide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that's not the Appalachia. That's everywhere.
no, everywhere, but here, hide too because you know we've got big cats, we've got coyotes, we have wolves sometimes, depending on what part of the state you're in.
Yep.
And if the wildlife goes quiet, something's stalking, and let's hope
Yeah.
it's not us. You know.
There's an
Yeah.
apex predator in the area.
Yeah, and it
That's
ain't
what that
you,
means.
and
Yeah.
Mhm.
it ain't
Yeah.
you.
And
That's
you.
everywhere. That is everywhere. That's not just the woods or
Yeah.
just the desert. That's everywhere.
Yeah.
Swamp too. Ice also. Everywhere. But yeah, so looks like Shadow is in, I don't know, backstage. Speaking of a disappearing cat, we have a magically appearing cat.
We've had two
So,
of them tonight.
Skinwalker, it's really interesting. They've detected something under the ground. One of the things that one of the tenets about Skinwalker Ranch was you don't dig, because when you dig, bad things happen. And
Right,
this
I've
was
heard
handed
that.
down to them from some of the homesteaders that were there, that then went to Bigelow, and then went to this gentleman that owns it now. Well,
Fugle.
yeah, Brian
Fugle.
Yeah, Brian Fugle. He's a big real estate tycoon up in Salt Lake City. And he's fascinated with the paranormal, and he decided he bought this off of Bigelow. And see, Bigelow had a whole team of scientists. He had the creme de la creme of scientists from all
7 years.
all over the place.
7 years.
Yeah, 7 years of taxpayers' money went into this to investigate, find out what the hell is going on there, and they never did find out. And they would not. They've been very guarded with the information. They didn't really give any of this.
In other words, they found out what was going on, said, nope, I'm not going to be the crackpot here, and went along about their business.
And Bigelow, what he did was he was like, this is an indicator place. This is leading me to Atlantis. So he picked up and moved to Florida.
I don't get I really don't get the logic to that at all.
I don't either, but he found something that took him that way, all the way from Skinwalker to Florida. So he's there now, and he's working in the hot zone.
I just don't see the logic.
It's a far stretch.
It's got to be something to do with the technology, and it probably has something to do with the crystalline technology. But the red crystals are not here on this planet anymore, at least according to all those people that have been from Atlantis that are here now that have been hypnotized. And the Fae took those red crystals back. And she regressed one of those people that was a Fae in that lifetime. And
what are you referring to? Who regressed?
That book here, this one. The Hypnotist Guide to Atlantis, that QHHT chick that's...
Oh, okay.
Oh, I forgot.
Okay, you're referring to that. We needed a reference point because it's like you went off the side. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of...
This is what I talked about before that you should get.
Right.
Okay, so the Fae, the fairy, were the keepers of those red crystals. And when things started to go to hell and things were crashing down, they went in and got those red crystals and took them out. They're not there. And so I wonder if that's what Bigelow is after, because apparently those red crystals were the key to all of that harnessed power that they had at their disposal. But it had something to do with those red crystals. Would you quit clawing me? Damn it.
Well, I'm glad you can figure that stuff out, because I just don't get it most of the time.
What?
I don't know whether it may just be me not being able to focus on it. It's possible. But, I believe in Atlantis. Boy, do I believe in Atlantis.
Yeah.
But some of the little intricacies and the details, and I think I mentioned this last week, there's bound to be a different point of view for every single person who passed away in that mess. And then have that baggage come into lifetime after lifetime and trying to sort through that. It's mind-boggling. It really is. You know, some of us have got some clue as to what happened. You know, and the only reason to remember why it happened is to prevent it from happening again.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. And this has been very mind-blowing for me because like this is another part of reality is nothing that I thought it was. And it's nothing. So
Thank you, Frank.
There's
it's a very difficult lifetime that we've chosen this time,
Yeah.
because we're trying to, like I said, trying to sort out where we fit in all of it,
Yeah.
if we fit in it. And
Well, we came here for a reason, and we just have
yes,
to figure out what's the reason. I am doing my thing. I'm going with my heart on it, and
yeah.
technology is where it's leading me.
Well, I'm sure that there are some things that are bigger, uh, what we would term bigger uh,
Hmm.
goals and assignments than others. Some of us are here to tread water. That's very obvious,
Right.
But most most people that have some enlightenment towards it, I won't say a lot, because gosh, how do you have a lot? I don't know how
Yeah.
to do that. Um, I do think though that when we're looking at Atlantis, we're looking at a catastrophe that we cannot begin to know the scope of. We know only a few things about what happened there. A few. It by no means any less complicated than what we're dealing with right now ourselves, which is why this crew is back, because it is the same circumstance all over again.
Mm-hmm.
So we're having to look at this thing and say, okay, we all can look at it and say, no, not this time, not today, not tomorrow, and I'm busy next week too. You know, we can say it. We can say no.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
every time this comes to me with Atlantis, um, I sort of breathe a prayer and say, Mother, let us escape this time. Let us get through this time, and it not
Yeah.
happen to us. So mote it be.
So
Mm.
motive be.
So mote it be. And we can do now. Joe taught me this a long time ago. We can be the wave that cancels out the violent wave. We can be the
Yes.
nice wave. And that's what I've been trying to do. That was like day 3 that I was learning in Coven. Be that wave.
Yes.
Be the counterpart to the negativity. And I know it sounds all yuppie
All
and
goody two shoes
pie in
and
the
sweetness
sky.
and light.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
yes,
it's
it does,
real.
but it's real. It sounds terribly naive. It sounds like the average person look at you and say, "Are you out of your mind?"
I've
You
had that.
know.
I've actually had that.
Yeah, I have too.
Me too.
And no, I'm not. I'm terribly, terribly sane. Terribly sane.
Hmm.
It's more about saying no, not today, not tomorrow, and I'm busy next week too.
Hmm.
I am not going to buy into this. And it's not
Right.
easy. Oh God, there's no part of this thing that is easy. It
Mm-mm.
hasn't been easy any of these lifetimes. And would we have wanted it to be? If you just fly through it easy peasy, you got everything you want, everything you need, what are you going to
Yeah.
care? What are you going to care? You're not. You're
Hey,
not going to
Justin,
care.
that's what it takes, bro. That's what it takes. So yeah,
No,
you know what?
I don't smoke. I do take a little bit for pain issues. I take it edibles.
Damn it.
I take it like medicine should be taken.
Damn it.
I
Yeah.
don't use it
Um.
that way.
Yeah. Recreationally, I'm just like no, no,
Yeah,
no, no.
no.
I do CBD gummies, and they're okay. But I want to say thanks to Grandmaster UV for subscribing while we're actually on the air, and welcome aboard, buddy. I'm glad you're
Happy to
liking
have
what you
you.
hear. Grandmaster is in with GUFON and Amy and all the shows that I pay attention
Ah,
to, and he's come over. Why? Because it's quantum. That's
well,
why.
Because it's quantum.
we're discussing stuff, and yeah, we probably go back over some of it,
Yeah,
but somebody needs to hear it again.
yeah, and
That's
it's
why it's even on our minds.
right, and there's always some small thing coming up all the
Yeah,
time
yeah,
that
and
that we forgot to cover, or it just didn't come to our heads at the time.
yeah,
And linking Skinwalker Ranch to Atlantis, where did that even come from, right? But here it
because it's
is.
right. That's all.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Well,
it's just
Once everybody realizes that they're here for a purpose and for a project, and it may just only be for them. It may be theirs personally. You know, uh, the person who spends their entire life obsessed with medicine, with practice of medicine, with that, surely has been a medical person for a very long time.
mm-hmm. Yep.
uh, the same person who finds his joy in circuits and electronics found that that happy place. It
Doing it
probably
for a
has
long
done that and
time.
been doing it for a long time,
Yeah,
finding
and
it
now
and discovering it.
I have never been a crystal person. I have never been a crystal person until just recently. And I was like,
Mhm.
whoa, this thing's doing what? And it's actually
Yeah,
having an effect.
I think this you might be able to see. There's a
Yeah, I
lot
mm-hmm.
of
can see that.
energy in it.
The
There's
big, that's
awful lot of energy in it. Can we
it's one of
even
your,
find
mhm,
ourselves? Here we go.
I can see it.
Yeah,
You always wear it.
yeah,
Me too. I have
I
one
do
too.
now.
I've had this one on for.
Nathan reminded me that
I've not taken this
and
one off
I
in
don't usually
10
like
years.
things around my neck because I choke out pretty easy, and I probably got hung in another life. Who knows? But anyway, so hung or even burned at the stake, I'm sure.
Yeah,
But
me too.
this quartz can affect a lot of things. It can remind you of who you were. It can remind you to drink water. It's
Yeah.
all in what you have intention for it to help you with.
Mm-hmm.
This particular little device reminds me that I have a personal goal that I pray at least 3 times a day, and I meditate at least once for at least 10 minutes. If I don't have time for 10 minutes, screw it. I'm taking an hour
Mm-hmm.
because that that connection to the universe opens up everything. Everything.
I've I've been doing that too, and it helps.
Yeah,
And
it
let me
does.
tell you something else that helps is I had a personal roadblock, and this could help somebody else. Ever since I moved away from El Paso, I moved to Colorado for three
Mhm.
months, and I developed an emotional grudge with my brother. Okay, it was a stumbling block, a big one. It was not hate; it was indifference. And y'all all know about indifference,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And it was that. And I recently just got out of it, got over it, grew past it. I took my own advice, I grew past it. And
Good.
it's like the gates opened up again because
With
everything
ease.
started after that. I got the contact from out there. I was able to reach out and get the mantis person to talk to me.
Uh-huh.
That was,
So
and
that may be part of your journey with him.
it was a big stumbling block. It was a stop. It was stopping me. It was cutting part of me off, and I forgave, right, and grew past it, grow past it, and yeah. And so
A lot of forgiveness isn't necessarily just saying I forgive you. It's
no, it's
truly letting it go.
yeah, and
Whether you have any conversation with that other person or not, just let it go.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
for them. It's for me. It's for the
Exactly.
person
Yes.
Releases
drinking
you from
poison and
trauma.
expecting the other person to die. That's what
Die.
it
Yeah.
is, and
Yeah.
Right.
it
Yeah. Exactly true.
Exactly.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
had to remember that, and
Yeah.
I finally did remember. It took years, but I finally did remember it, and I'm better for it. A lot of
Yeah.
people say, "Oh, well, that makes you sound like a weak
No.
No.
person." I'm
No.
like, "Oh,
No. No.
really,
The
really?
strongest. The
Try it,
strongest.
try
Yeah.
it. I dare you, try it."
Takes a lot of strength to do it.
It does.
It takes a lot of personal. I will do this.
And I
You
had
know,
Yeah,
and
a mentor tell me
I
that
think
if you have
Christ said it back best though, Raven, with forgive your enemy 72 times 72 if you gotta. Just keep forgiving him. If you can't let it go, keep forgiving him. If you gotta do it every day, if you have to
yeah.
do it a couple of times a day, eventually you'll let it go because you get bored with it. you know.
It
I'm sorry,
starts to
Raven. I
hurt.
interrupted you.
no, that's okay. I thought you were done. Just a little bit of a delay. Um, I had a mentor tell me I had a situation with somebody that I just could not forgive because it felt like that I was just kind of giving them a easy pass for the atrocity that they had committed against me, and I just couldn't bring myself
It does
to it.
feel
And he
that
said,
way.
then what you do is you say that you are willing. You're willing to be open to forgiveness. You're not
Willing
there
to be
yet,
willing. Yeah,
but you're
not there, but you're getting
open,
there.
willing to. I'm willing to forgive them, but I'm not there yet, Lord.
Yeah,
And
and it works.
eventually, it works.
I've
It keeps
made
that
that
door
prayer.
open.
We're having
But
technical problems. Someone's
Are we?
saying we have no sound. I know y'all can hear me. Shadow, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
Okay.
I hear you.
Samo is saying that there's no sound, and see, got that,
Well, that's
can you
and
hear
interesting.
that?
Is
that's
he
a
the
couple of
I
only
can
minutes
hear
ago.
person?
that.
Is he the only person in chat that's not hearing?
Hang on.
He's the only one
I'll
who's participating right now.
Do you hear
We're
it?
still live, people,
Frank
but
says he hears it. It may be a technical issue of his. Yeah,
Samo.
others in there.
Okay.
And Samo's saying he doesn't hear me.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why that would be.
Justin says he's hearing us, so it's probably on you, Rockstar.
I'm afraid so. I'm sorry. Maybe if it's something that's important to you, maybe go back and try again. Um, one of the big things with forgiveness and some of these other questions of it makes me look weak. I'm not strong during this stuff. It's shadow work. All of it is.
Yeah.
And when I say shadow work, I don't mean you, Shadow, but I'm
Hey,
talking.
I work in mysterious ways, so
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay, you can take credit. I'll let you. But shadow work in particular is
that's another nickel.
some of the most horrendous things to work through. It really is.
But it's got to
Whether it's
happen.
grudge
Yeah.
against a brother or someone who's done you unspeakable pain and worry and heartache, uh, it still has to be faced and looked at head on, and not only forgiving that person, but forgiving yourself your part in it, because you surely had a part in it somewhere. Whether
Hmm.
it was going along with the atrocity, I like that word, going along with it, not speaking up against it, whether it's a myriad of things, but we tend to hold grudges against people, and it's a hard that one word grudge. It sounds awful, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Has a horrible vibe to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
our words mean things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When uh, well, I'll just share this because I always told him I wouldn't keep his secrets. I'd have a grudge against my father. It's a big one. It's literally 20 years worth plus of things that he did to me
Mm.
personally and to my other siblings. You know, and narcissist in the worst case scenario, narcissist. And I had a hard time forgiving that, and yet I needed to, not for his sake. Gosh, he doesn't care. He didn't see anything. The biggest thing that I learned from that, it was from Frank actually. Frank put his arms around me and said, "Why do you even want to forgive him? Because he hasn't asked you for forgiveness. He doesn't want your forgiveness. You know, he doesn't know even that he's done anything wrong." And
Mm.
when you see it from that point of view, it's very freeing. They don't see it from your point of view. None of them do. But they do see it from theirs. So, if you can say, okay, these things happened. There's no question of it. It all happened. It was nasty. It was despicable. It was miserable. Okay, I forgive myself for being there. Because
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I needed the forgiveness more than anybody else did. I needed to know that, okay, this stuff happened. It would happen at his hands. But what did you learn, Dorothy? you know, I learned a lot from that. I could spot a narcissist in a crowd of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know
It's
what,
that easy. But I also
Samo?
can be taken into by them.
Yeah, Samo
Yeah.
is in the chat room. He's saying it's hard, bro. It's difficult. It takes a lot of work, but you can get there. Keep working on it. Take. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
You have attack it like a problem you would.
Yeah.
If one method doesn't work, try a different method
Right. Right.
because it can be looked at. It takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of trial and error, but you can do
If
it.
you got to forgive it
And
3 times a day, just do it. Just forgive it,
yeah,
then
Yeah.
move along your day. Eventually, yeah, it's smart. It There's nothing that will make that thing not have happened. That's what's difficult. And you won't have you won't have closure over it, not at all. There's no closure available for it. The only closure is your acceptance of it. And that doesn't mean it's okay. It means that you see it happened and
right,
you realize that there's nothing you can do to go back in time and make that thing not have happened.
right. And
Right.
that's why I say grow past it because it's
Okay.
always going
Yeah.
to be there. But
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have to become more than that, what happened. Even if it's
And you'll think of it
a
less. It'll be less and
it,
less on your mind. It'll be less in your
even
environment. It'll.
in the now, where are you right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that thing affecting you now? How is
No,
it affecting?
doesn't have
That's
to.
you dice it up. You cut it up.
Oh,
You go.
yeah.
Is it
Dissect it.
affecting me now? What
This
am
is
I doing
shadow
now?
work. This is what
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
shadow work means.
Yep.
right.
You know,
Yep.
just
And
what you're
you,
saying. Tear it up. You know,
yeah,
take it
dissect
down
it.
into to
Put it
bite-sized
in bite-sized
pieces and then
parts. Yeah.
trash it.
Elements, the
Yeah.
Yeah.
bare elements of what it is, nuts
Yeah.
and bolts. Take it down to these screws, nuts and bolts.
And then at the end of
And
the day, you realize that don't matter. I'm still alive. I have survived it.
I
I
have
am
grown
strong.
past
I have
it.
grown. I'm strong. I'm not weak. Not weak
Yeah.
Yeah.
at all.
You got to take the victim aspect of it out, and then you
Exactly.
can really gain your power back. You want your power back.
With shadow work in particular, and it was funny, I was thinking about this show earlier this afternoon, and it come to me, I needed to say more about it because most people don't really quite get what shadow work is.
Mm-mm.
It's that thing that you do, that place that you go, that's the ugliest thing that you never want to see again. You never want to deal with it. You don't want to deal with it. The harm, treachery, what have you. But if you do, and do like Nathan said, tear it up, take it apart bit by bit, and let it blow away in the wind. And then you pray for that person and you say, I wish you peace. And that is the hardest part of all. I wish
Yeah.
you peace. Meaning it's even harder that you do that, because not necessarily love, but peace. Because what possibly could have been going through their mind and their hands to have done this horrible thing to you?
Mm-hmm.
So praying for their peace and praying for their prosperity in this life and the next one lets you off the hook completely. You get to become a newer, better person than you were before. And there's no shortcuts for it. You have to do it. Some people take the route of a therapist, and therapist is there to help that. Sometimes they can't. Sometimes that thing is so awful that you cannot go back and look at it only in little sections.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
therapy comes in. But if you have the ability, some do, some don't. There's no shame in either one. But be able to look at it and say, I survived. I'm okay. The Lord is with me, the lady, the universe, however you perceive them. But when you're able to do that thing and say, I wish you well, and mean it, whether you got to do it 10 times, or 100, doesn't matter, but just do it, because that lets that person out of that karmic cycle too. It lets you out, it lets them out. And what greater love can you possibly have than turning somebody free that has locked themselves up into a terrible, terrible situation?
Yeah. And it takes a lot of context to understand what you're saying, Lynn.
Yeah, I know.
And we don't have time for it here.
The ones that come to it will know. The ones that don't won't worry about it at all. And
Right.
that's all right. It was said for the person that needs to hear it.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, Shadow, how you doing over there, man?
We're fine.
Okay.
It's been a long day, but I'm still,
Yeah. This is kind
taking
of
it all in.
this is a heavy set of topics that we went through from
It is.
Skinwalker Ranch to here. So
Yeah. It
You
gets
know,
kind of willy-nilly around here.
no. If you've been with us from the beginning, you've seen this sort of thing happen more than, every time. It always gets to something, much deeper than the, the more, interesting topics we could hit on. There's a huge amount of truth within this group, and like you said, Lynn, somebody out there probably needed to hear this,
Yeah.
more than us,
yeah,
Yeah.
it came up for a
Yeah.
reason. It's quantum.
I've found that I've shied away from saying things that aren't easy to hear sometimes, and yet the people that are supposed to hear it and supposed to be able to do something with it, they know who they are. They do, and they are the
Right,
ones who will
and
be able to.
one
They
of the
can
cool
be.
things about this show is, like right now, it says there's 9 people watching, but there's not 9 people in the chat.
Mhm.
And the
People
show
listening.
right, and the show will hit somebody else later on down the road, 10 years from now, 100 years from now. We don't know, but right now it's permanent. It 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 we'll never know who's hearing it, who's benefiting from it, but it's happening. It's happening for a reason, and
Hmm.
if we don't see the immediate results, that's just the way things work sometimes, and be happy that we're
It,
part of it.
yeah, and it will reveal.
We'll say.
Maybe not in this life. Maybe the next one. Every
Maybe
single
next week.
person. Yeah, it could happen tomorrow. Who knows? But every
Mhm.
single person who is affected by this thing affects somebody else. And
Yeah.
that person affects somebody from there. It's just like a game of
Mhm.
telephone. So, and
Hey, I
it's
like to
like,
think of it more like
Yeah.
chainmail. You know how chainmail is.
hmm
You know how it's
Mhm.
rings, but it starts with one ring, and
yeah,
each ring is connected
just
to 4 or
like
5 other
that,
rings,
just
and
like
it
that.
just keeps going on
Uh-huh.
and on and on until
Sure.
it covers the whole world or the whole person. And each one of those rings is, like the reason I bring it up, it was the name of one of my bands,
Uh-huh.
and it was part of the philosophy. We were, each one of us one different ring, and we were connected to countless other rings. Um, Even if we didn't touch, directly in the weave of the pattern,
Bloop, bloop,
um,
bloop, bloop,
we
bloop.
were still
hmm
all part of it. And that's what we're doing now. There's a whole bunch of people out there that will be affected by this, and you know eventually it goes all the way around the body and right back to where it started.
Yep. And
Well,
a lot of
Mhm.
people, they're dismissing my show as just some dude, some redneck with a webcam. And I'm like, you
nah.
go ahead. It's not meant for you. It's not meant for you this time. You'll come around or you won't. It's not meant for you. But this stuff is
And he may only be saying it because his girlfriends are listening, or I mean, his friends,
yeah, or
and
something.
or
I think
somebody.
you had it right the first time. Sorry, I know this person, but you know.
You know exactly what I meant.
Mm.
But
No,
in
of course. I'm always giving
this
people
stuff
shit.
is not for little kids. This is for grown adults who are tired of living day to day with no hope in sight.
And
They
only a
they see
pocket
the
full of
light at the
fear.
end of the tunnel and are scared to death it's going to be shut off due to budgetary regulations, you know. And we're all there. We're there. We wonder if we're going to be able to make it from month to month a lot of times. And that's not just us. I mean, I think I read where 90% of Americans are living check to check. I wouldn't be
Mhm.
surprised. Not right now, I wouldn't. But the the ability to reach up and say, "Mother, I need a hand. Father, the universe, I need a hand." And you know what? Their answer is yes. Every single time. You'd
Hmm.
better
Mhm.
watch how you ask for it. If you need a sweeper, don't call me. But the finally got rid of the last of them. But honestly, there's every person is looking for, why in the hell am I here? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
Because we're raised with the thought, most of us, not all of us, but most of us have the thought that we have the ability to do great things. But
Yeah.
but life gets in our way. But who
Yeah.
did you talk to at the grocery store who tells you Man, I got all these problems. I got kids, blah, 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 yak, yak, yak. And you say it's okay, you're making it, it's going to be all right. And that person leaves and decides maybe suicide's not their answer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It happens every day.
Oh my God, Justin, you're killing me.
Yeah. What is he up to? Just something
He's.
with a webcam.
It's okay.
You
It's
can block
okay.
him if you want to, you know.
It's all good.
I don't think he wants to
I
block.
wouldn't block him for all the
Yeah, he's
dice.
I think it's what you call taking the piss. It's all good.
We're used to his antics. Don't worry.
It's
Never
all good.
mind
Yeah,
that
we're.
little man behind the curtain. He's fine.
Yeah, he's just as quantum. And okay, guys, it has been almost 4 hours. We're at
Has it
3:55.
really? Oh my God! Here we are
And
again.
Where does time
this
go?
is a pretty. Yeah, I know.
We're
Okay.
talking important stuff here.
Yeah. I mean, it just flies.
Yeah, I know. But it has been 4 hours, and I'm starting to wind down, even with coffee.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm ready.
I need to just decompress. I've spun up so many times this show. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So
Pretty big adrenaline rush. Really, for
lots
all of
of
us.
oh,
Well, there he
Shadow
goes
said,
again.
"Nope, I'm out."
Where'd you go, Shadow?
That's all good.
I'm
Yeah,
here for
technical
you to
difficulty.
stay until you say goodbye. You know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he walked out of signal range for his router. It happens.
Probably.
He's on a tablet, but
Nothing personal.
no. Oh yeah. Okay, y'all. This has been a great show. I'll say it
has.
again. The best show since the last show.
Since the last show. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, y'all.
Okay.
So, stay backstage. Don't hang up. And
Okay.
we got to talk tech over here with the rock star and a little bit more.
Yeah,
and
you should.
Yeah, we're
He's
gonna
got
get
some
you.
ideas for you. You probably should listen to. And I have
And
no idea what that means.
Okay, it's pure technical stuff. It's pure technical. I mean, not even crystal tech. It's the rudimentary circuits and stuff that we've all got. But okay, everybody, thanks for joining in the Quantum Show tonight. It has been a hell of a ride this time, and I love it every time. Best show since the last show.
People
Everybody
in
who
chat
came
are
in,
just top drawer. They're great.
Yeah.
yeah,
You guys rock.
and
Can't have a show without
here,
them.
Yep, if you're here, you're quantum. Even you, Justin, you're quantum too.
Despite your best efforts.
Yeah. But,
cool. Well, have a good week, everybody.
Have a good week. I might do a short. I might not. I've got one more show before Florida, and I'm going to try to do some cool stuff in Florida. Me and Rich Giordano. So, everybody, keep it quantum.
Light and love, people.
Okay. Bye,
Y'all
everyone.
have a good rest of the week, and see you next time. Keeping it quantum.